wears purple on election night.
He's
like, I'm
election night
blending the
purple.
colors.
Is that the? Yes. Oh, that's right. You colorblind.
You don't know. Maybe Carol sets out the purple shirt.
We're live.
Are we ready? Are we on?
We're on.
Hey, it's election night. You got
Hope
the
you
fabulous
voted, baby,
team.
voted.
You know how we do. The election night team is back.
Once again.
Michelle Turner, Markeisha Ricks, and Babs Rawls Ivy.
Hey.
And so we're here to bring you the rundown on the lowdown on all things political across the state, but mostly in New Haven. So mostly in New Haven. So we got wine. We got good ass wine.
We do.
Which is
That's
really
very
what's
good.
important,
Which
right?
is important. And if you are having a political discussion, you don't got wine, are you really having a political discussion?
No.
Not
No.
a good one.
No.
You're not having
No.
a good one. You're not having a
No.
good one. So our good friend Christine Stewart is on mommy duty, so she can't.
Gotta put the baby to bed.
She got to put the baby to bed, so she
We
can't
miss
hang
you,
with
Christine.
us. Although maybe if she could sneak on, if she get the baby to bed.
That would be
Christine,
cool.
I'm gonna give you some tips on how to do that, so that you can have some free time. I done raised 4 children, Christine. I know how to do this.
She might have felt like I ain't missing nothing.
She's like, I ain't missing a damn thing. So anyway, so in New Haven, we the New Haveners vote for mayor. So we got Democrat Justin Elicker versus Republican Tom Goldenberg. Is he a Republican?
Is he? I saw a sign just today that said he was a Democrat.
Listen, let me tell you something. When they had the Democrats in
Wait.
Westville, he was there. And I, kind of questioned him anyway, because I thought he had been living in West Haven all these years.
Oh, I'm
So-
not gonna say nothing.
I don't know.
Talk your talk, Michelle Turner.
And unaffiliated candidate Wendy Hamilton, who won the debate, by the way.
Of
Oh,
course she did.
really?
She won the debate. I don't give a damn what anybody says.
She killed it.
She killed it.
What were her prevailing points?
Oh,
Please share. 'Cause
Yes,
I wasn't
do
able to attend
tell.
the debate, so
Oh.
please
Do tell.
recap.
I thought she was good. I thought she made some salient points about a lot of things.
Okay, just give us 1 point.
Well, or did she talk about this charter revision at all?
I don't even know, was charter revision a thing? Was it even part of the?
Part of the debate.
I don't think it was a part of the debate. I mean, me, Tom,
But it
and,
should have been a part of the debate because
and
I don't
Norma.
think anybody knows what the heck's all in it.
Yeah, no. Well.
I sat down and I
It's slippery
read
when it's
through
wet.
it.
I will say this.
But talk about how this went down. You're a former alder. We've both been reporters covering the city. Where's the information other than what we get obviously from our great New Haven Independent?
let me tell you why. When you don't have information, it is deliberate and intentional.
Absolutely.
Because what you want people to have the least amount of information, and then you put a yes no answer, you put a yes no question, and you can just sway people to vote yes or no. That's
I
it.
feel like that backfired for a lot of people. I don't know how the
think
vote's
because
gonna go.
because it
but
felt seedy.
It felt
Yes.
disingenuous.
It did.
felt like you were
Seedy.
like,
It
I'm
felt
gonna, like
seedy.
you've done enough things for me to trust you all to just throw a ginormous ask
Well, I
and
think-
say yes or no to. I wasn't comfortable with that.
I think it's like, say yes. Everybody kept saying, say
Everything
yes.
said
Well,
say
I
yes.
said-
Say yes to what?
I said yes only because I
did
have my
not.
reasons to say yes, but I think it was I thought it was a nice move to have former Mayor John
Yes.
DeStefano.
And he
Yeah.
almost swayed me. He
talk about
almost
it.
swayed me
Well,
because he
you
actually
were
talked
swayed,
about it.
But when you got that little text,
So y'all, I don't know if
see
anybody
that
else.
that text.
Since I haven't been
Threw a wrench for you.
a reporter and haven't had to remain partial, I am a registered Democrat. So I am on all of the lists, and I get all of the things and all of the propaganda. And so I think it was yesterday I got a text message that had this little graphic in it that is the colors are red, black, green, and white.
Did get that.
And
but
it
go
said
ahead.
I
for the
didn't get it.
charter, I got it. And
They
it
was like,
says
oh,
for
nigga,
the
I sent it
charter
to that
vote, it
witch.
said Republicans are voting no, and Democrats are voting yes. I was like, you trying to say I'm not a Democrat just because I don't want to? I don't feel comfortable
agree.
supporting this. Are you saying other people who have gone on record saying they don't support it, who are registered Democrats, are not Democrats? Did you mean for it to land that way? Because I was pissed.
I think they did.
Well, you-
I was pissed.
But Markeisha, it confused me, right?
It did not
Because
confuse
first of
me.
all,
It made me
no,
mad.
First of all, at first glance, I thought it was something about the Palestinian Iraqi Iranian war because of the colors.
Talk about messing up the
And
message, right?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
And so then I go back and I look at it, right? And I'm saying, so you're saying to me that if I vote yes, then I am doing good. But if I vote no,
I'm behaving like,
a
Republicans.
Republican.
Listen,
And what does that mean?
I just don't feel like we're in a lot of cynical places in politics. I don't think we need that kind of division. This town is full of Democrats. It's like
Confusion.
2,500 Republicans. They don't even need to be in a conversation.
15-1.
As far as I'm concerned. This is a conversation, as it were, between Democrats. So don't question my commitment to the Democratic Party
yeah,
at
I
this
get
point.
that.
Not
I get
after I
that.
went ahead and registered when I could have avoided all these emails.
Well, you know, the
Don't
two
do me,
the
okay?
two Republicans that are in town. I think there's
and the
two.
Democrat running as a Republican. If you're gonna question somebody's loyalty, talk to that guy. Don't
I
talk to
think
me.
how many
this,
Republicans? And you
don't.
know, here's the thing with these New Haven Republicans. They want New Haven Democrats to help them.
and sometimes New Haven Democrats are willing.
And wait,
Yeah, right.
Well, yeah, and then they start this.
Progressives.
Well, this one party, the Democratic lock. I was like, you know what, Republicans, get your asses out there, and knock on doors, and sell your
Because
little,
guess what? It's
sell your
tons of
message.
independent voters in this city.
It's tons.
Yeah.
Go
It's
get
tons.
them.
Go get them.
Yeah.
Get some crudités out there and some wine. And
Knock
have
on
people
your doors.
and come and sell your
And listen,
Trump agenda.
you can't wait until election day to go get those people. You got to go talk to them now.
Listen,
Can we say strategy, boys and girls?
Listen, Tom Goldberg has been in Newhartville so much I thought he lived there.
Girl,
But wait.
he was at the NAACP Freedom Fund.
Wait.
Well, listen, that's how Justin Ellicker got in.
Yeah.
Because remember he was showing up at all. He was
But you
showing
can't
up.
he
show,
showed
you
up at
can't show up
everything
the year
black.
you want to get elected. You got
that's true.
You got to give
I will say
Elliker,
that-
if you're going to give him anything, he been showing
He
up.
been showing up.
All of a sudden, he started showing up at Black Lives Matter protests.
He even
was
double dutched.
Listen,
everywhere.
homeboy was
Listen, he was at somebody's church.
Listen,
so.
homeboy
double
was-
dutched.
Ellicker was showing up at cookouts. I was like, what? What the
Who
hell's
got him
happening?
the invite?
I was like, don't be bringing
Somebody
no raisins
invited
and a
him.
potato salad to the
Key,
cookout.
somebody probably told him not to bring any potatoes out.
Don't bring
And
no
listen,
potato salad.
Goldberg showed up at the thing in Westville with
And see,
fish.
I wouldn't put it past Gold.
He showed up with
I heard
fried
about
fish.
this. I heard about this.
Everybody was like,
I heard about
"Excuse me?"
this.
Wait, fried fish?
Fried fish.
Was there black people there?
Hot.
Was
Of
it a
course.
fish fry?
It was not a fish fry
But he was like,
officially.
I'm going to get these Negroes.
but I'm gonna get these Negroes. I'm gonna get their attention and open up the box, and the fish smell real good.
And listen, the black people probably ate the fish.
Listen,
Yes, they did.
You know, we can eat the fish and not vote for your ass.
Exactly.
Well, that
And we about to find
also-
out how well this works.
Yes,
we about to
that
find
also
out.
works.
Listen, I'm not mad at Goldberg.
No, people are allowed
I'm not
to
mad
I
at
just
him.
thought it was funny. I
I
It
just thought
was
it was
definitely
funny.
entertaining.
This is why I didn't vote for him. Because I think, you know what? White men wake up every day in this country and say, you know what, I want to do this, that, and the other thing.
Yes.
And then they go do
it.
this,
And they go
that, and
do
the other
it.
thing.
Regardless if they have the
I don't
experience
care
to do
if
it or not.
if I've never run for
Exactly.
office. I've never sat in the board of all
Exactly.
of it. I don't even know where all the damn schools are in this city.
But I want to be mayor.
Or
But I
who
wanna be
represent-
mayor.
Or
I
if
wanna be
there's
mayor.
other bodies that represent said schools. My gosh.
and I want to rep y'all. And I don't got
Because-
one child
because
in not
I
damn
have
one of these school
ideas.
systems.
Because I have ideas.
Yes,
Please.
come
Yes,
on.
you may.
Hey,
Thank
Tom
you.
Breen.
Hey, Tom Breen.
Hi, Tom
Hello,
Breen.
Babs, Michelle, and Markeisha. If I am on the mic, I
You
think
are
I am.
on the mic.
Hey,
We hear
what's
you.
up, election crew? All right. So we've got all of our volunteers fanned out at polling places
Shout out
across
to
the city. They're
volunteers.
beginning to call
Although
in
I
all
will
the
tell
results.
you, Newhartville was looking
They're the
pretty
best.
hot when I went a couple
Ooh, I
of
can't
times.
wait.
Westville had
Ward
a
20.
little traction going too. At Ward
So we're still
25.
counting up all the mayoral races, but we've got a few contested alder races. So there
Oh,
are two,
yes, we do.
two that I'm going to say. Now this is just at the machines, not absentee ballots, but I think the
Okay.
margins mean that pretty confidently can say who won this. So Ward 8, Worcester Square, where the Democratic incumbent Ellen
Ellen
Kupo
Kupo.
was running against the Republican challenger Andrea Zola. Ellen Kupo 382 votes to Andrea Zola's 69.
Oh,
so
wow.
more than a 4-1 trouncing.
girl.
I don't know if anyone watched the
Does
debate
her
that Paul
family live in
moderated.
the town? Did they all just vote
Oh
for her?
boy! So Ellen,
Bless
That's
her.
is that the one of the two Republicans in town?
And then in Ward 18, probably the most hotly
yeah, that's a
contested in
pretty
Morris
hot
Cove,
race.
all the debate, remember, all the Tweed drama, all Sal
Yeah.
DeCola
Right,
fleeing the
right.
scene of a car crash trauma. So this is a three-way race. Sal DeCola, the incumbent Democrat, 438 votes. Lisa Malone, the Republican challenger, 311. And then Susan Campion, the write-in who ran against Sal and lost in the primary, 357. So a classic example of the opponent splitting the opponent vote. They pulled in more than 200 votes above
That was
Sal DeCola,
Right.
but Sal
Whoa.
with over 100 vote margin, or roughly
Is he
100
gonna
vote
pull it off?
margin. It depends
Or
on
will
how
it be
many
a runoff?
absentees we'll
How
see.
many absentee
But
ballots,
I
right?
can't imagine they're going to be. I don't know. Well, we'll see
See,
if
this
they're
is-
90.
This is
90
what we have
absentees.
to
We'll see.
say
We'll
to
see.
people.
We'll see.
This is why your vote matters.
Yeah.
Because people
These
think they're so
close
cynical.
races.
But these close races, man, look at that.
So-
And that also means that folks went out and knocked on doors.
They did. They
Talked to
had to.
people.
And
Got
that
petitions.
when that woman did not win in the Democratic primary, she didn't give up.
right.
But can we just marvel
her.
at 357 write-in
Yes,
votes?
a lot.
I didn't think who writes in votes. I mean, I guess a lot of people write in
would
votes.
she like
Go.
to, would she like to
go
run for
her.
mayor?
I know.
All right, I'm going to go back to
She
the
knows how
volunteer
to-
table, but
sounds like she
thanks.
knows
That's
how to-
Ward 8 and Ward
Next
18.
Oh,
Next
Wow.
time.
Ward
That's
18.
amazing.
That girl
Democracy
is on fire.
at work.
Wow.
Democracy at work.
But
Give
see,
it up.
that's what it is. Because, we were downstairs, Marquisha and I were downstairs at Dangle.
Okay.
Is it Dangle?
Dangles.
Dangles?
Plural?
Whatever. I don't know.
Y'all got part of the name right.
That is the most comfortable name for a bar I've ever heard in my whole life. But I went in there. I got there before Marquisha, and he saw my "I voted" sticker, and he commenced. And he's a brother, black man. Hey, Lucy, mommy.
Hey, Lucy G.
So he commences to tell me
He ain't vote.
that he's not into it, and that we are bamboozled about voting because whatever.
You were bamboozled about the fact that people who don't have your interest are going to the polls.
So I said to him, I said, brother, normally I would walk out of an establishment who talked this kind of foolishness.
Because that's what that is.
I said, but I'm going to stay and I'm going to support your business because, you don't seem to understand that whoever's in office dictates how you run this establishment.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
100%.
so you can say whatever you want out of
And
deliberate
even if
and
you
willful
don't
ignorance.
live in the neighborhood where you own a business, there's an alder who represents the neighborhood.
The neighborhood.
That your business
and then he
is
goes,
in.
well, we already know who's going to win. I was like, no, brother.
Not in this town.
And I didn't get into it with it because, my at 60, my level for bullshit, foolishness, sorry. My level for foolishness is low.
Low.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Low. That's
I think-
painful, and it's so hard to convince people. I'm very curious about how
just real quick. We're not on the radio. So
We're
you,
not.
you can say whatever.
Oh, you shouldn't have told us
Thank
that.
you.
Within reason. You know.
Okay.
I mean,
But I mean,
whose reason?
I just don't. I don't understand how people of color
it is
in
no, it
this
is.
country
But
can
it's not
say
even just people of color at this point. Voting
It's just
apathy
people.
is terrible.
It is.
Like so many people are convinced,
And
are
I
very
get
convinced that
that.
their vote doesn't count. But you're like, but you didn't even go try to make your vote count. You didn't attempt.
But
Yeah.
I think
Like you didn't attempt, and you didn't take 5 of your friends. Like
right. Well, you ain't gonna
you-
take 5 of your friends if you can't figure it out.
But this is my thing though. Like we have a soror who is TikTok famous for her commentary on voting, and she always says this, and I think it is so perfect. Voting democracy is a group project.
Yes, absolutely.
And if you've ever participated in a group project and you know the
Child.
pain and the
Yes,
suffering
we all know.
of being the person who's trying to actually get a good grade.
And trying to get everybody else to do
Ex-
their work
right,
and then
you're-
work together.
Exactly. This is what
Yes.
it's like being a black woman who goes to vote.
Yes.
I'm trying to do the work of all of the people who don't go vote. I'm only one vote. I can't vote more than one time. I can't go to
Right.
the polls for you.
Right.
But if I know if I don't show up, and if you don't show up, and she doesn't show up, and all the black women we know don't show up, no black people showed up.
Yeah.
Like and
Yeah.
and I'm not hating on men because there are men obviously out there who
Right,
vote.
who
there
do
are black
vote.
men who are
And-
out here
and they- yeah.
sounding this alarm.
Right.
But America in general, and so I hate to say it, we're looking at national races as well, like, and things are happening, like in Ohio, where, where abortion is on
the
agenda.
ballot.
And
on the
people have
ballot.
showed up. The same way people show up against the things that they don't like, and we're probably going to talk about a little bit more about the charter question, because we'll probably get some results from that. But, like, show up for what you do like.
Yes.
Like, what
Yeah.
do you want from these people? These
Yeah.
people, and what the Sora says, shout out to, I can't think of her name right now. But what she always says is, every time we go to vote, this is a referendum on how the folks that we have voted for or haven't voted for do their jobs.
Exactly.
You don't have to like them.
Right.
You are hiring someone to
do a job. Yeah,
and if they
I
are,
agree
and
with
if
that.
you don't, if you want to fire the people you don't like or you don't think are doing a good job, you have to show up to vote.
My thing is this, okay? Yes, people are people,
Sora Kelly, that's her name.
and
Sora
and
Kelly.
Milford.
and people should patronize democracy, right?
Come on, patronize democracy.
But-
tell us more about this.
But as an African American in this country, when I can remember the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing,
I actually interviewed
When-
one of the sisters
I
of one of the women, young children who were killed.
I can remember certain things. I remember seeing the news and folks getting hosed.
And maybe because
they
people
were
ain't getting
trying to
hoses turned
vote.
on them to go vote, even though the folks who have been hired actively won't pass, what is it, the Voting Rights Act?
Right.
The John Lewis
But my
Voting
thing
Rights
is
Act.
this. But here's my
if,
thing.
If nothing else excites you or could excite you, the fact that they will not pass the Voting Rights Act
Right.
says that we are still not considered part of the
It's part
fabric
of this country. And that should make you, if anything, go out and vote.
Yeah.
If it's
and
not
the
anything
level
else.
of rolling back of all of those hard won,
things.
all of those hard
Hard-earned.
earned rights that, like the things that we have now, I think people take for granted that we've always
yeah.
had them. We've not
Oh,
had
yeah.
them that long.
Right.
We've just not. And
Right.
so I just, even when I don't like who's on the ballot, which
today
today was rough. I was like,
Today-
it was one of
today
those
was
where I-
rough.
where I
It's
am
called
voting,
write it in, baby.
I'm voting against someone by voting for someone else. That's where I am. Like, that's just the long and the short of
Write it in.
That said, there's so many things in America that, like, I'm kind of concerned about, and I take this on myself as well, because we really are at a place where people don't have an interest in the well-being of our country, in the sense that, like, they have kind of saying, I'm not interested in politics. I don't vote. I'm not running for office. I'm not participating in the fabric of the things that still control so much of what happens to us as a people.
Yes.
So whether
Right.
it's your school board, your board of alders,
And
or your
you
city
know, and
councilman,
when I hear
county
people
commission,
make that when they
It's-
make those decisions, I was like, but when you don't exercise your right to vote, guess what happens? You still have to be governed by the rule
by
of
the people
Right.
who don't feel that
the
way.
the land.
Right.
The
We're
land. The
talking
land is
about-
governed by people that you had no say
So-
and to do it.
And we're in a place in politics where if you are not part of the party that got elected, you really don't have any say. They don't have a burden to listen to you at all. They're like, oh, you didn't help me get elected?
Right.
Oh, your kid wants to go to the Naval Academy? Did you
I
vote
don't-
for me?
I don't think
I can't
so.
even hear you.
Right. I don't see
But
you.
we live in a world that's actively in a place where 11 people in Florida can challenge books and get them banned. Where are the people who are like, this is a great book, I think every kid should read it? Where are those people? Where are the opposing voices? And just the basics of what you want, who are you articulating that to?
But I think there's a mentality of
Get somebody
my
else to
vote,
do it.
Yeah, get somebody else to do it, or my vote don't count. So,
It's
like you said
definitely
earlier,
my vote doesn't count.
My vote doesn't count. So
And-
why
and-
should
and
I even bother?
And I hear that more so than anything else, that they're gonna decide whatever. I was like, but you got to be in the game,
Right.
Like you got to get in you got to suit up and be a part
be
of
in
it.
the game.
Politics is not a
It's
spectator,
not a spectator
sport. You
And
got to
unless
get in
you're
there.
willing to abdicate your right, like to have a say. And what's bothersome to me is, like, I love New Haven because it's not that place. Like, that was what was so exciting to me about being a reporter in this city. Is like I love the idea that someone who lived in public housing felt confident enough to run
For office.
for office.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I'm 40 plus years old, and I've never lived in places where that happened, where people organized in that way. And I was like, that's badass, bro. Like, that's cool.
And it's funny you say that, because when you go to other parts of the country and people don't have that kind of mindset, you're like, well, what's wrong with y'all?
But
What's going on
But
with you?
honestly, having lived in other places, I think New Haven, maybe New England in general, New York and a tri-state area, maybe y'all are anomalies in that way. Because I've even though the South is the birthplace of the civil rights movement, but it's a movement, not necessarily those people, at least people who got access. I saw them move into government and become, in certain ways, the very thing that they had fought against. So it's very interesting to me to see people just kind of wholesale abdicate that. So
Well, we are
it's a scary place.
one of the places of the free breakfast program. We are the homeless
It's true.
10K. We are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things that we are as New Haven itself.
I hope we don't lose that, because in the
I hope
amount
we don't
of,
either. But I do want to redirect us back
Yes,
to the
get us
charter
to
revision
British.
question,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Because there's a charter revision
And then let's talk
amendment
about Bridgeport.
that was on the
Yes,
ballot.
we
And
gotta
then we
talk
gotta
about
get because we
Bridgeport.
got to talk about our girl
Let's talk about
Christine.
Bridgeport.
Our girl Christine.
Gotta talk about the homeless child.
Bartlett
Christine
Josie,
Bartlett Josie.
who was out there kicking some ass about this.
Yes.
and is
trying to save democracy.
and
Look at
trying
black
to
women.
save democracy.
Look at black women.
Black
And-
women
and-
once again,
But
right?
listen, everywhere in this world, we are doing our best to save this planet. Black women.
Whether
Yeah.
people deserve to be saved or not.
Yeah. and I know people feel some kind of way about us doing it, but who else is going to do it if we don't do it?
Clearly
Well,
nobody else gonna do
in all honesty, the undercurrent. When it gets messy,
We got on a little delay.
give it to a black
Yes.
woman, right?
So, and of course, a once in a decade charter revision amendment is on the ballot, and it would give mayor, clerk, and alders 4-year terms and update some rules and language in the charter as well. However, proponents say that the mayor needs, I believe the
I
mayor
agree.
needs 4-year terms.
I agree.
I believe alders need 4-year terms. I believe that, having been an alder and served 2 terms, I believe that. But opponents say, and I don't know who, but that this is sneaky, that they added 4-year terms for alder, which nobody would want, folded it all into one question,
One massive
and didn't say on the
question.
ballot what the specific changes are. So this is a test of Unite Here and the Democratic Party power. Can they round up the vote for this in a way, the way that this did for charter reform 10 years ago? Or are everyday voters fed up with the lack of transparency and accountability on the part of alders? I don't see this as a. I don't see this. I mean, I guess people could sort of see this as a transparency issue. I get that, because I could see, but but the reality is most people don't follow politics
Closely
in this
enough.
That's what I was
damn
gonna
city any
say.
damn way.
I mean, most
and
people.
the language that people are using are not the language that they know to use, that
Right.
somebody else is feeding them this information. And albeit I would say Republicans are really at the heart of this kind of conversation. They feed this, they let it loose out there, and people sort of think, well, this sounds kind of like how I'm feeling, without any real deep dive into, what I need to pay attention to. So
Absolutely. But I think for people who actually have gone to the polls on this question, because that's the other piece, right? Like, how many people actually show up to actually vote and decide this issue?
I
Right.
did.
I did too.
Me too.
And I think, as someone who actually, again, my position is that I agree with many of the things that they wanted to do. I do not like how they did it.
Okay.
I would prefer either these things be broken into separate questions. I would prefer that if we're going to talk about 4-year terms, I want to see term limits. That probably is not going to happen. That's probably a pipe dream, period. But again, if you take them all together, you're saying I accept all of these things that we want to do.
Exactly.
And I think there
And
would have been
that's
a better
the,
chance.
That's the issue for some people who are
That's-
voting
and,
no.
And that doesn't have to be. That doesn't have to be partisan for me.
But I think that's such a small minority of people, Markeisha,
Is
that
me.
do the due diligence that you do. I think the majority of people. Okay.
Oh, we got results.
Whoa! Ward 17, Punzo.
He's the winner.
He's the winner.
Who else is winning,
Who-
Paul?
Eli.
Eli who?
Sabin.
Eli Sabin wins
Say-
in 7.
Listen, Eli is the most attractive alder on the
He's
planet.
very handsome.
Henry Murphy
Murphy and Ward-
wins
and
Ward
Ward
11, Bella Vista.
Okay.
And
Oh wait. Am I gonna be freaked out by this one?
is your mic on?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
That one should be on. I don't know. Don't do
You
that
wanna-
weird
you
pause.
wanna-
Rose
use this one?
Santana,
Use this
she's
one.
still
She's,
an alder.
yeah, she is still an alder.
Because I was an alder.
Okay,
with
Rosa
her.
Santana won.
Ooh,
Ward
Lord.
13, but poor Garlinghouse ran as a green, and he did well. She got 321 to his 129.
Wow.
And then the Republican only got 50. Anna Festa cleaned up in 10. Henry Murphy, who was running for the woman who died, Renee.
Yeah,
Henry.
Renee.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he
That was
won in a
painful.
landslide.
She's such a sweetheart.
Sal Punzo won in a landslide, 458 to 26. Eli Sabin was a landslide against that guy who claimed that he was out to kill him or something.
What?
What?
The guy was had all
Oh,
his
I
paranoid.
remember seeing that. Oh,
Let me tell you something. You
The
mess
stuff
with
you gotta
Eli,
go
You
through.
mess with Eli Sabin.
I'm
You
just-
messing with me.
I'm just-
because
I'm just saying.
I
I'm
love
just saying,
him.
New Haven.
And let me tell you, when
You
I,
can be crazy.
We were
and
on
Why
the
do you
board.
love him?
We were on the board of aldermen together when I was. No, he
no,
wasn't.
no, Eli's like
He was 4 when
Yeah,
he was
it
4.
was-
he's a child.
No, not him. I love
a smart
him.
child, but
He's got a lot of
comparatively
integrity.
Yeah.
And he really cares about. And he's from New Haven.
Do you think he's going to be mayor?
Oh, does he want to be
Ooh.
mayor?
I'll
Does
tell
he
you
wa-
why. He doesn't say that.
Does he wanna
says
be
he just
mayor?
finished college. He did all studying about New Haven.
Okay.
What I notice about on the board of all this is he thinks big. So he had
Okay.
all this thing about a
I
new
need
downtown.
someone who thinks.
He
know
thinks
how I
really
feel
about
that,
development,
Paul.
about the reading. He was one of two people who
listen.
changed the reading in this whole city, but he does it quietly. And one thing I notice is that when he's around the other alders, he respects them. And he doesn't act like the big shot. You know how you get these like kids out of
Listen,
Yale.
if
that
he
act
wants
this
to be
smart.
mayor,
Yeah.
I'm with him. Unless Karen DuBose Walker
He was
wants
still
to
in
be mayor.
college when he was in charge of the State House Democratic Caucus. As the
Well,
staffer.
if he wants,
The guy's so freaking smart.
if he wants to be mayor, I'm for him.
But I just watch the way he
unless
doesn't.
somebody else I
he
love
doesn't
wants
get
to be
out
mayor.
front as like I'm the more important
Is he
than other
giving
people.
consensus builder?
Right.
Like I
Yes.
want to hear other ideas.
Yes, he doesn't.
I like it.
Sounds like a very young Joe Carbone. People
I like
don't
him.
remember who Joe Carbone
Eli,
is.
if you want to be mayor, baby, we got you. Unless somebody I
And
love.
Charter revision
I
is
love more.
How are we
wants to
doing
be
with
mayor.
charter
Charter
revision?
Vision is going to easily pass. It's more than
Okay.
60%.
Good.
Okay.
The only places, well, almost everyone I know,
I voted my conscience.
including me, almost everyone I know voted no, but the whole city's
Did you
voting
vote
yes.
no, Paul?
I was so outraged at the charter revision.
Did
'Cause
you
he-
get one of
voted-
these?
No,
text
were you
messages?
outraged at the charter revision or the way that it was done?
Two things. The way it was done and 4-year Alder's term I thought was a terrible idea. And it was so sneaky to not
Paul,
tell
we
people who was
already,
on there.
Wait, what older do you know only serves one term?
That's fine. Let him win twice. But here's the thing, Babs. And you got a president for 4 years, I agree with, but you need the House of Representatives every 2 years in case you need
Yeah.
a course
But
But I-
correction.
we're in
that's
New
the way I
Haven
look at it.
politics
Governor-
where we have an alder where we overturn alders every 2 years.
Well, it sounds like
Where do
Sal
we do
Nicola
that?
might be on the run.
Right, but that doesn't mean that they should be for 4. They could have been after 6. What if their second term, you need them out? or
But
if they-
where's the example of that, though? Like what you are suggesting.
How long did
where's
Josh
that?
Moore? How long was Josh Moore?
Who is Josh Moore?
He was in New Hallville in the 80s.
Paul, I was down in North Carolina in the 80s.
Okay, you asked me a question. I was here in New Haven.
Okay. But that was 40 years ago, Paul.
Okay, I got to do better than that. No fair. Shafiq Abdul Sabur, 6 months.
But what does that mean?
I don't know.
Like
He gave you the
Yeah,
example.
like, you want an
But
example?
you didn't want
He gave
40
you-
years ago. You don't want 6 months.
He
What
didn't
do you
do
want,
4
Babs?
years. He didn't even do 1 year. He's like, I'm out 6 years.
But he did
you
run for
know-
mayor then.
I think it's Hartford. They have 4 years for the mayor and 2 for the alders.
And here's the thing, Babs. President 4, legislature 2. Governor 4, legislature 2. Just so the public has a chance. It's so undemocratic that you don't get to vote for anything. Because I'm for the mayor, so he can or she can put out a policy
But
and
the
get a
mayor
team.
has to have a team of alders,
No, no.
a team
No.
of folks that he can work
It's
with. And if it changes
helpful.
every 2 years,
like it does in Congress.
yeah.
I
but
see your point,
I'm sorry.
Babs.
what?
I see your
Where
point.
does this work? Where does this show up in New Haven? Show me an alder at in the last 5
So then why do they
years.
need a 4-year term if they so easily get in the second
But
time?
why wouldn't we have a 4-year term so we could do away with 1
Because
year
some-
on and 1 year fundraising?
Because they don't fundraise for Alder, Babs.
I fundraise for being
you were
an
one
alder.
of like 2 out of 30. You don't need to fundraise for 30.
I raised a lot
Babs,
of money.
But Babs, they might get reelected their second time. But what if after 2 terms, we know people have gotten into some pretty serious trouble when they're in office, right? And by the way, we're not going to name the person who did 1 term in the last term, okay? There was someone who was your Alder who was 1 term.
Oh yeah.
But in any case, separate from that question, if someone wins 2 terms, right? And then I'm going to name another person from Alderman, not going to use their name, from the aughts, who had a very serious drinking problem, was not showing up. Should he have been able to vote out in 2 years? It's not like a
remember
mayor
hearing
who
about
But
needs to have that
but
team.
that's so few and far between, right?
No.
Like that's
no,
not
No.
okay.
But I'm sorry. I, don't think I think your point is right about a team for the mayor. I would argue the people should be able to have a check on a mayor. We'd let him serve the 4
And I
or
agree
4
with
terms
that. I
4
agree with
years,
that.
but let's have a check after 2 if something's gone wrong, that there could be a vote that there needs to be a course correction.
I just don't see where we say that, but I don't see where that is real.
Well, New Haven agrees with you because it is over 60%.
And let that be a lesson
because
to you.
apparently, Paul, because apparently, according to the text message I got, Democrats are voting yes and Republicans are voting no.
Listen,
I
and
know,
I
Marquisha
thought-
got this
I'm
text.
so mad.
Wait, and the
And then you know what the
Republicans.
mayor
Did you
said
get
about
the text?
and you know what the mayor said when he spoke that fully? He said they're against democracy and government. So they're against democracy and government because they want elections and you don't. So if you want elections, you're anti-government. And
I guess I'm anti-government then.
Oh my goodness.
More election.
Like
So
I said,
defined.
I thought it was something about
And here's my thing.
the
Like I said,
Palestinian
I'm
war
not
with
against,
the colors that
I'm
they
not
used.
against
I'm
what
just
they want to
saying.
do. I'm against how they did it. I'm against how they did it.
But that shows why they shouldn't be in for 4 years. They're unaccountable. Here's the other thing, Babs. Most parts of the city, you never see that alderman for the whole time until they're running for re-election. It's good for them to have to see people every 2 years.
Really? And you think that you see them every 2 years?
Well, listen, you think you're going to see them this next 4 years? When they get elected? I bet you don't.
I don't have.
I mean, you're in New Harvard. You have a very energetic alder.
I mean, we
so
have a
you're
very
not gonna see
energetic
her.
alder.
Well, you have a-
who, and we had a very energetic alder who didn't run again,
Mm-hmm.
and then and I didn't come from the New Hallville sort of concept of alders,
Yeah.
but from what I understand, they've been very sort of engaged.
Yeah, I think New Hallville
It
has
has, yeah.
always been engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they you
Like that's
The
a crew of
community-
people that I would suggest actually like in those words who get really burnt out because they are engaged. They are.
Yeah.
They're not alders that go missing. And I've always often felt when people accuse them like, oh, I don't know who the alder is. I'm like, I don't know how you don't know because that person stay in the street.
and I think the community demands
Yeah, yeah.
of their alder in
I
that
mean, I
in
think
that
if you have a
neighborhood.
4-year term, I think the alder has much more freedom to sort of get more things done, and engage in
We gonna see.
constituencies way more. You know,
Well,
I mean, I could be
now-
wrong, but
Well,
And
now
they're also
we'll
going
know.
to get paid a little bit more, which I agree with. I think they deserve more money.
hell yes, because
Deserve more money.
because the
You
money
spend
that
a
you
lot of
get,
time.
the money that you get, it really just pays for like staples and
gas.
and
Gas.
paper clips.
Not even gas. Now gas.
It
like
don't even pay for
almost
gas.
$4.
It pays for staples, stamps, and paper
Shoot.
clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you
And
know,
thank God for like
Yeah.
email.
Right.
You can
Right.
use a lot
That's
less
the
of
only
that,
way you
too.
can do stuff. But I really think in certain neighborhoods you always have the activism and you always have a sense of community, right?
Right.
In other neighborhoods you don't get that. So I think what you get is the alder that kind of reflects what goes on in that
Yeah.
community.
Right, right.
And,
You know?
but they
'Cause, I
should,
mean, think
Michelle.
about the-
But your order should reflect what is.
Yeah, yeah.
For better
I mean,
or
and
worse.
that sounds
For better
I was
or
going
for
to say
worse.
better for worse because
Because not for nothing, the Morris Cove race wouldn't be hot if
Right.
what was going on with
Right.
that altar hadn't been happening. So
right.
it's
People
one of
came
those
out.
things.
Yeah.
Because
Came
people are like, oh, we have something to say.
All right, so let's move to Bridgeport. Do we have any word on Bridgeport? Hey,
What you got?
no,
What you got?
nothing on Bridgeport. What we got
Nothing
on
yet?
Bridgeport? Because Judge William Clark, yes, our good friend Bill Clark, Will
Will
Clark,
Clark,
from New Haven, has
who
ordered
used
a
to
new
be with the Board of
primary.
Ed.
And listen, we're
Look
gonna
at New
shout
Haven
out
being
our
messy.
girl Christine Bartlett Josie, because when we saw her standing on that press conference, she was talking hella ish.
Yeah.
She was like,
Yep.
listen, this is wrong. Wrong. But anyway, there was this whole
only in
video
Bridgeport.
capturing the Ganem workers illegally
Bridgeport
bringing
lives up to its,
buckets of
Tanning Hall
absentee
image.
ballots to Dropbox. But the general
crazy.
election is taking place. So I guess if Ganem wins tonight, then they're gonna
There'll be a new
they're
election.
be
gonna
another
They're gonna do the
election.
remix.
But if
And remix and then do another primary, and then do this again.
well, if
Yes.
Gomes wins,
It's
from what
over.
I heard on
Yeah.
the news, basically it's over.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
he wins.
Okay.
But
So-
if Ganem wins, we go back to the drawing board.
Wait,
So if
Robert
Gomes-
McCormick said Gomes has 41% so far, and Ganem has 39%. I don't know how many ballots. I don't know how many wards are in though for them.
Okay, Rob McCormick, you can
You
disagree.
keep us-
Disagreeing is free, just like
Disagreeing.
agreeing is free. So if Gone wins on Tuesday, which is today, there's no need for the primary redo. If Ganem wins, then there will be a new primary.
Correct.
And if he
You got-
loses that, another general election.
Paul's
What
back.
we got, Paul?
I got the EpiPen.
Oh,
Oh, goodness.
oh. Da-da-da.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay, who did that?
And water
Okay.
is wet.
Give me the
Elliker got
numbers.
79%.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
This is this is about the same as when Hart beat Marcus Packer, who only had
Yeah.
two people on the ground.
Hey, I see Marcus Packer all the time now.
Do you?
I do. He said, "Hey,
never
Babs."
see him.
I saw him at a wedding. We was at a wedding together, and then he was in a wedding party that I was officiating. So I saw him.
Was he in
And he
that
wasn't
wedding
mad at me
party?
because I talk cash-ish about him, but he was very nice to me. And then I
Maybe
saw
he
him
forgot to
recently.
talk cash-ish
I think he
about
did. And then I saw him recently, and he was like, "Hey, Babs." I was like, "Hey, Marcus."
So 79% for Elliker, 18% from Tom Goldenberg.
Who voted for Tom?
Well, and
Did that? Show yourself.
and
Those
two
Everybody,
Republicans.
everybody
The
line up on the
Republicans.
green.
and 2% for Babs' candidate Wendy Hamilton.
I was in
I mean,
that.
that's 2% more than I thought.
I was
so.
in the 2% candidate.
Okay, ready now?
I
We got
liked her, Paul, for the
and-
debate.
and it's official.
What?
Ugh.
Ah!
Charter revision.
Charter
case.
revision passed.
Okay, that one was pretty
Gee.
much too 64% to 35%.
How many people have actually showed up to vote, though? What's the
Well,
turnout
what's the-
like?
what's the number?
turnout looking like?
I
Thank
want to know
you.
what that is.
Yeah.
I need to know what's going on.
Well, I mean, we all know that everywhere across the country, people are not turning out because it's an off year.
There
Everybody's
are some
gearing up for
important
next year.
elections happening.
Well,
right
and
now.
there are.
I want people to
Ohio
understand.
is a
So
dead.
Listen, my
Virginia, it's close. Like
Yeah.
they need to. It's either going.
my good
yuck.
girlfriend founded and runs the debate commission in Ohio, and they had this whole debate conversation about the abortion conversation, and it stirred people up. And so the fact that it is trending in Ohio means that there are forces at work that says women have a right to make decisions about their own reproductive health care.
And I love that language in there.
Yes.
That's in addition to abortion being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love
Back
that.
down on planet New Haven, your answer to your question is there's around 12,000 people voted in the mayor's race and about 10,000 for charter. So they did vote.
Wow.
So they came out.
They came out.
And the union, so this, I think in our lifetime
here?
or memory, this is the second time charter vision has passed. You know,
Yes.
every 10 years. And the two times it passed, the last two times was when Unite Here pulled out, so they still got some juice in the absence of organized opposition. But in the East Shore, they voted against the charter, 17 and 18.
Not surprised.
I'm not
and-
surprised though, because they voted against being a part of
I'm
New
sorry.
Haven.
I was gonna
At
say
one time,
the
right?
East Shore. One day the people that wanted to succeed, they had
Yeah.
on
I was
the
gonna
damn
say,
sign
still
to
wanna-
succeed.
Listen, they still
They
want to
made
leave.
national
They
news.
still want to leave.
Yeah.
They still don't want to
Yeah.
be a part
How,
of
But
New
you-
Haven.
do you
how you
notice that-
like me now?
But
Exactly.
you notice that those signs went up when there was a black mayor who raised their taxes. Signs came down. White mayor raised their taxes. There were no
No
signs.
signs.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
We're gonna put it out there. Listen,
Lord have
so
mercy.
what's happening in Derby? Do we know anything? The Republican candidate Gino Di
That
Giovanni
racism
was
is-
arrested for breaking into the
All right, let me
Capitol.
look up there.
This was this
He was
whole.
a January 6th rioter.
He
I mean,
said, "I was
insurrectionist.
just there."
Excuse
I
me.
was just
Let me tell you.
there.
Let me tell you something. White folks can do anything, any damn thing. On January 6, 2020, this mofo jumped up and was in the insurrection. And get this, he defeated an incumbent from his own party this year. So that incumbent,
Crazy.
everyone watch it.
Richard
Who's
Dzekin
making a speech?
is running as a third-party candidate and making this a four-way race, a
So
Democrat
that
and
means
another.
votes can be pulled just like in East Shore.
So I want to hear if that mattered to people in Derby.
and West Haven as well.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to West Haven in a minute because
West
that's
Haven
some
as
other
well.
foolishness.
That's
I am
the
curious
funny-
about the Hartford race too. Looks like Arun's gonna pull it out. He spoke at the Jack Gala
Oh yeah, yeah,
because he
yeah.
introduced our one of
yeah.
our honorees.
Although I had one of the candidates on from Hartford on my show who I really really liked.
Yeah.
Latino brother, Latino
Oh, yeah,
cat.
yeah.
He was amazing, but I think he didn't have enough support.
Yeah.
You know,
Ground
'Cause-
support,
because he
right?
was talking like real shit. So, ooh, I'm sorry.
No, we not on
We're
that.
not on. We're not on
The
the
FCC is not
big.
coming for us.
Yeah, we're not on the big.
He was talking real stuff. So Paul, what are we doing? Are
Do we
we?
have
Are we?
any Camden results?
And I want to know if they're going there. I had one the other day, her and Karima. They were on. And I will say this: New Hampton Mayor Lauren Garrett. She was because normally she's very introverted and she's very sort of mousy a little bit. But child, she was talking cash-ish with receipts. She was like, well, this is what we do.
Now, what is this relating to?
What was it to, Harry?
Is this
Elliker headquarters? Okay. Oh, they're Delectus. I'm sorry, Jet Nova.
I was going to say it's not Delectus anymore, is it?
No, it's Jet Nova. Is there a lot of people there?
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're
Because you know how that space is. This is not a great angle for whoever shooting this because you cannot see who all is in here. You should go to the opposite.
Yeah, in fact, go walk to
Yeah,
the...
walk to the opposite. Because this view makes it like there's no black people there. And that's not the view you want.
Well, maybe there aren't any black
There's
people.
one.
There's
There
one.
she go right there.
Vote for somebody.
Vote for who? What?
Oh, that's my older. That's
Brittany.
Brittany.
Hey, that's my older. Ward 20.
That's what she said.
She has a lot of energy for this work.
Yeah, well,
I see,
you need it, right?
What's the state? Juan Candelaria.
Oh, Juan Candelaria. Who doesn't want to be mayor ever? Like Juan, you could have been mayor 8 times over.
I just
I don't want to be accountable like that. But I got to talk to people. I got to see Castro.
just do what I do.
And do what I do. Of course. Yeah, of course. Do what I do. I ain't mad at him.
It's a great too. I mean, it's not like he's like, I don't want to run for you.
Right.
He's not doing that. And if we get that,
Well, you know, everybody's got a comfort zone, right? So you function sometimes better in one thing than you do another.
but
So
there,
that's
I mean,
his thing.
and then there are those folks who are ambitious, right? Who want to do other things, right? But these things are.
Is he walking this way?
So what is Elliker?
It says he's going to.
Oh, more of the
Well,
same.
so my question, and I don't know if y'all have an answer to this. My question is, okay, charter revision is passed. Will he get a 4-year term?
Oh,
I don't
what-
think so.
So he would have to get re-elected for
Yeah.
that
Right.
time to get a 4-year term.
correct.
If he
It's
had
not
a
automatic.
4-year term, what should he do?
Finish this economic development, get somebody to do something because all the projects that he inherited are just about done.
Well, there's that.
I don't think he says he inherited these projects.
No,
I mean, he don't say it, but
he
we know
doesn't,
it.
but we all know it.
I don't know if people know it. I don't know. I'm not convinced that people know it. Are you serious?
I don't know if people
I don't think people.
follow.
I don't think people know that. I think people think that this is under his watch.
Wow.
I don't think people follow because they got too many other things to do. They trying to survive. trying to eat.
Well, they're trying to figure out why is all these new apartments going up, but they can't
right,
afford to
and
live
they
in
can't
them.
afford to
Not
live in
near,
there.
not near one of them.
Not near one of them. So
No
you
matter
know,
what.
you know, at the very least, like he initially when he was first elected early on, he kind of took up some of the housing because that was one of the major concerns of his most competition, which was Karen DeBose Walton.
Right.
But since she has decided, you know, to put her interests elsewhere and not run for office, at least not run for mayor again, that conversation has gone quiet. Don't we have a housing commission and some? What is going on? I know
Listen.
I'm out of the loop. What is going on?
Listen, I
Don't
cannot
we
even
have some
tell
folks
you.
working on that? What are they doing? What is happening?
You mean like poor housing? Housing for poor people?
Housing for anybody beyond people who can afford these
I think
crazy
this.
rents.
I think this city just likes having the housing authority just sort of do that, and then they beat their asses about, well, it's not enough. You know what I mean? Like,
the housing authority is like, yeah, no.
oh, you're charged with doing housing for the poor, and you're not doing it fast enough. But then
There's
nobody.
like, we have
is-
a wait list with like 15,000 people on it.
But
Right.
But then when you ask people, well, can you help us do? Oh, what?
We don't want to do that.
What?
Okay,
We
so
don't want
Carlos R says 4-year terms start in 2027, assuming vote is official.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
2027. Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. I could live with that. 2027. That's what.
2027 is a long time from now.
It's a couple of years.
Because we're in 2023, so.
So next,
Yes.
like what? Next election is 2025.
Whew,
Yeah.
that's a
Yeah.
lot.
So in the midst of the new century, the terms will start.
Will
So-
I be alive? Am I?
Yeah, you'll be alive.
Justin
You'll
Hillary
be
will probably be in Congress by then.
And dare we say, if he goes to Congress, then is it possible that Karen will be mayor?
I don't think she wants to be
I
mayor
think she's
now.
done with this.
I think
like,
she's done with
y'all
it.
y'all don't want ideas.
You don't want ideas and actual ability.
governance.
Governance.
don't want that.
You don't want that. No.
You don't want big ideas. You don't want.
They just want
progression.
white. They just want white men.
It makes. I think it makes
People are soothed by white men in power with no
I
ability
mean, this
and
is the same
mediocre.
country that's trying to elect a man who looks like he's on his way to prison. I don't
Okay.
know if y'all been paying any attention to the Trump stuff.
Yeah,
like,
and-
sir,
and
what
guess
are you
what?
doing?
Marquisha, talk about second chances.
And he is literally leading in the polls. I'm like, white people are
how
y'all
the
okay?
hell is Donald
Listen.
Are
Trump
y'all okay?
Listen.
leading in the polls?
Blink
Listen.
twice.
And
Listen.
If somebody has a gun to your head,
Listen,
white people, are you okay?
I need a hashtag White Lives Matter. I need a T-shirt because y'all.
Because apparently,
I'm gonna be
Y'all
like
not
Whoopi
saving
Goldberg.
yourselves.
I'm
Saving
like
yourselves.
Whoopi Goldberg and goes, "White America, y'all in danger, girl."
because there have been interviews with folks around the country who actually believe that he can govern from jail. They have said this craziness that yes, they will vote for him and he can govern from jail.
Well, let me
I'm
tell
like,
you.
who
Wait.
have you been talking to?
Well, they've been talking to rappers because if you could put a rap album out from jail, hell yes, you could
it's like
govern.
anything is possible.
Like for a plain pumpkin to become a golden carrot is possible.
anything.
This is the Cinderella story for the ages.
I mean,
They don't care. They want this white man in office by any
it makes
means
them
necessary.
comfortable. It makes them feel whole.
And a brother coming out of prison can't even get a McDonald's job. But we willing to turn a whole country to a twice.
it's
It's
just
terrifying.
amazing.
And Melania Trump is like, I'm out.
she had, yo, shout out to
Have
her.
y'all
She had
seen
her
her?
prenup amended just in case he
Have
goes
you
to
seen her?
prison.
Is she anywhere?
Yeah, she was in court with him. Looking like, glad I had my prenup amended. Is there any news?
Glad I got
from
one
anywhere?
child, not 20, not 5.
She's like, I did my part. Got my parents.
And meanwhile, the first
Residency
Mrs.
secured.
The first
The
Mrs.
first
Trump,
Mrs. Trump
is
is
somewhere in
still-
a field buried
Isn't she buried
No,
on the
she's
golf
at the
course?
golf
on a golf
course.
course that ain't
Yes,
been
in
been,
Jersey.
ain't been mowed.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
The golf course in Jersey. Bless her heart.
She can't be resting in peace. I would say rest in peace, but I just don't see
I'm
it.
like, girl, you play. You know that woman played that wrong because I would not have left that mess to these people. I would not have left that to them.
Well,
Listen,
I'm-
a mother's love knows no better.
oh hell, it does.
Listen,
Oh, hell it does.
I still think she had a little help going down
Oh
the
yeah,
stairs, but
she definitely
you
got
know,
sit down the
that's
stairs.
not
like,
a part of this conversation.
What was that? What was that movie? Something about Baby Jane.
Yes, whatever happened to Baby Jane?
Do we have any? Do we have any
Are there any
stats?
other results?
Do we have any results from West Haven,
Hamden,
Waterbury,
Derby.
Hampton?
Anywhere?
Anybody
you know,
else?
I think this might be a good time to bring up Jimmy Griffin. Jimmy Griffin passed Thursday night.
Yes.
And Jimmy Griffin, love him or hate him, rocked Waterbury's politics for at least 30 to 40 years.
I used to have these. I used to have these long conversations with him. Long. You know, Michelle.
I know.
That
I
brother
know.
will wear your ass
Yes,
out with.
he would. Yep. Yep. Talking about everything.
Wait, and he would not only would he talk you to death, he'd write you to death.
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
And sometimes stuff would be handwritten.
Handwritten. I got
It would be
packets
handwritten.
of stuff to the inner city newspaper.
Where are the
Handwritten.
people who care that much anymore?
But that's my point.
Yeah, that's- yeah.
why
Where are the
it's
people who
important to
care
at
that
least
much
mention
anymore?
Jimmy, because
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you. Because
Just
he really was a freedom fighter.
He
And
was.
you could love him or hate him.
That's
you could
right,
think
my
whatever
point.
you want. I always admired him because he had the courage of his conviction to sort of stand up to whatever it was. And you may not have dug it. You may
Right.
say,
He was
"Oh."
like, but you knew he
Right.
wasn't going to back down
No,
from it.
he
Right.
was not backing down.
and for all that he has done all over these years, he has yet to get a mention in mainstream press. So it's important that at least we say Jimmy stood up for what he believed in. Whether you agreed with it or not, whether you liked him or not, Jimmy always spoke truth to power.
yeah. Yeah.
So rest well, Jimmy.
He was that gadfly. He really was that gadfly. And he was a smart brother. Like I just liked him. And sometimes you didn't like his politics.
Right.
Because sometimes I was like, yo, bruh.
you
Really,
really
bruh.
doing
You
some
are.
I'd be
stuff.
like, bruh, really?
Yeah, yeah. Gimme Jimmy, that was his campaign slogan.
But I wasn't mad at him because he was about it. He was about
he
it.
really
That's
did.
all.
And matter of
hilarious.
fact, his last things on Facebook, he was supporting the brother in West Haven that's running for office. Stephen, I can't think of his last name right now.
Mullins?
Yes.
But
he's-
Steve Mullins is a Republican.
I know, but I'm just saying, Jimmy
And I know
crossed
Steve
all
Mullins.
lines.
Because let me tell you something. Steve Mullins keeps me in the know for the inner city with
Speeches coming.
West Haven. So, but I'm like, Steve, I'm like, bruh, but I can't F with you because that you told piss for the Republican Party, and then you can't come out and refute none of the foolishness that goes on. But you want me to stand here and be like, but we bruh,
He's like, throw me a bone here.
I can't do it.
can't do it. I can't do it.
Do it.
Rest well, Jimmy.
Starting. Goldenberg speech.
Goldberg.
Where is he at?
Where is
is
he,
that?
Paul?
Oh, maybe the beer hall?
Here's some black people.
There's like 5 people in that room.
Bless that reporter right there on her mic. She's like,
Listen, I give anybody credit for running.
listen, if I'm going to give him any props for putting himself out there, putting himself in strange situations to potentially
To make
get
a
vote.
point, right? Again, somebody who is, whether you agree
I'm not
with
gonna
him
give
or
too much
not.
credit because white men
You're
are
like, that's the basics.
that's what they do.
He said that's the basics.
He's speaking truth to power. He's speaking his truth.
I want some other people to feel like they have his confidence.
Like
Well, listen.
People who actually could do the job.
Listen, I give the reporter a whole lot of credit right about that.
She checking her Facebook.
Yeah, but
I'm
she's
kidding. I'm
she's
kidding.
there.
She's doing her job. Shout out to her. We ain't got no sound.
Uh-oh.
The stream might have froze.
Looks
Oh,
like
that's Bill Saunders right there.
Here?
Yep.
it. Oh.
I need them to scan the room. Let me see who else in it.
I know. I need to see who's
They
in the
could
room.
have all just sat together too. They could have did that. That would have made it easy. Hartford's newly elected mayor speaking right now. Thanks,
Who-
Bob
who?
McCormick.
All right, Bob
McCormick.
McCormick. Who is it?
Bobby on it.
Who is it? Who is the mayor elect?
My WSME news director. Yay.
Yes, Bob stays on it. Shout out to
Thanks,
him.
Bob McCormick.
He always
but who
tunes
is
into
the
us.
who is the Hartford mayor elect?
Yeah, go ahead. Can you type his name in?
Because
for
the
us?
mayor who stepped down, he's gonna run for governor.
Bronin.
Luke
Bronin.
Bronin.
He's
Bronin.
weird looking. Don't you think he's kind of like a little like a kangaroo, a man kangaroo in a
Men
tight
don't have
body.
to look not strange to get elected.
I think I looked at him and was like, he looked like a kangaroo. He was in
Only women are not allowed to look strange.
he got that big ass head
So
on
he
his
looks like a
weird
kangaroo.
body.
He'd definitely be like a good caricature.
As I have heard
I
older
know
black
now,
women
now,
say.
now I'm gonna get a call tomorrow
You
about
definitely are. He's gonna want to be on your show like
going
real
to be on
soon.
my show be like that.
He's like, Babs, how you gonna
And
talk
then
about
all
my
I'm
head
gonna
like
see
that?
is like a kangaroo.
Listen, kangaroos are buff, man. I saw a kangaroo trying to steal a man's dog, and the Aussie guy, him and the kangaroo squared up.
I saw that.
joint was crazy.
No. Did you see the one, Marquisha? When the one with at the house, and he was trying to break in the he saw his reflection in the glass.
Arlu, I cannot say his last name. I'm sorry, sir.
Arupa Palam is the winner
Arula Palam, I think.
at 69%.
And he was expected to win.
Yeah.
He was expected to win.
expected to win.
69%. That's a
Mhm.
that's
He
a
did good.
pretty
That's
good.
healthy.
But look, it's only 2,000 votes though. 2,300 votes.
Hartford.
Can
I just, yeah.
Gigi Jacobs, a petition
we
candidate.
scroll this down a little bit more? I wish Christine Stewart, because she could give us
I
the
know,
like
yeah, but-
intel.
Yeah.
Tell us the inside.
I know. I listen, Christine. I know.
We miss you, Christine.
We I've been a mother, and I know you gotta,
Yeah.
routines are important
Bedtime is bedtime.
Show. Yeah.
Bedtime is bedtime.
because the rest of the week will be a pain in the ass if you
It's only Tuesday.
if you break rules.
It's only Tuesday.
You know what I mean? Like it's Tuesday, it'd be like Friday. The kid would be on fire. You'd be like, damn, them bitches on WNHH.
Oh, this is Derby. That's a small turnout too.
Which one? Oh,
That's
did
the
he?
Derby.
Did that?
Did he win?
Wait. Oh, he didn't win.
No, not the
His
the
name is
January.
D.
This
Oh
year.
Giovanni.
wait, Harris.
Gina.
I was looking
our-
at it.
our
Di
screen line.
Giovanni
Yeah.
is his last name.
Yeah. That guy didn't win. The other guy
Thank
did.
God.
Richard.
Because
so
I
the
was
incumbent,
worried. I was like,
yeah,
the
I was
incumbent
concerned
running
about
as a
that.
third.
I was
as
concerned
a third
about that
party
because
candidate, it looks like he won.
thank God. Because I was worried because I was getting the sense that people were really feeling him. And I was like,
right.
what?
Just the fact that he's on the ballot.
Girl.
I know.
Just the fact that he's on the ballot is kind of scary.
Who's going live?
Elliker. Goldenberg
Okay.
is just three
Okay.
people, but Elliker.
That's just three people.
I know how. I mean, Paul, we saw the three people. We were like, is there anybody else in the room? He could have did that from his living room at his house on the front lawn. It's
I think two of them
warm.
were customers and one was Jason.
Oh no! Are you serious? Oh.
The other people were like, I'm here.
So the people
Where's Mark's rent? Chicago's back in Chicago, going to deep dish. She doesn't like this stuff over there. There's enough room in the world.
Should we be talking? We can't have dead air. So we gotta
I
wait
mean,
for
all you're hearing right
uh,
now are the sounds of the room because
of
he
the
hasn't started
room.
talking yet.
Ambiance.
So a mayor-elect incumbent
Elliker, this is term
Elliker.
3.
And we're still waiting for
I
the
want to
outcome
hear.
of Bridgeport.
I want to hear
Yes.
Bridgeport and
Hamden.
Paul. Do we have any results in Hamden? Because Lauren Garrett. We want to hear because she had a challenger who was a black
Crystal
black woman.
Daly.
A black woman who didn't really want to say she was Republican.
I mean, can you blame her?
But girl, if you're gonna own it. Like,
Well,
did you think people were not
The
gonna know
brand
that?
is weird. The brand is weird.
And she's anti everything, abortion and
Does she think she lives in the South?
I don't know what she does. Girl, where are you? Is Connecticut's not Mississippi?
and Hamden.
I mean,
for
at
all
least
of
not
its-
not in Hamden.
and for
not in
all of
Hamden.
its differences.
Maybe in the
Yes.
Valley, but not
Yeah.
Hamden.
Maybe in the Valley.
Well, I can say, as somebody who grew up in Hamden and had to deal with them, things have changed. 'Cause
Shout
it
out
was
to our
a-
very good friend Ife Michelle, who used it in summer.
All right.
So she was like, "Come here,
Listen, this is good night, and you know, it's been a long couple months, and we're gonna move through this pretty quick. And you know, I have the great privilege of sitting here with my partner Barbara Beret from the New Haven DTC. So,
Vinny Moore speaking.
Mayor, I think you won by over 78% of the vote at this point. I think we're pretty close to calling it over 78% of the vote here. Charter won overwhelmingly.
Oh, 12,000
Board of
people.
Aldermen
That's
elected
that's
overwhelmingly. I
good
want to just say a couple quick
10,000
things
for the
because
vote.
there's a bunch
Charter,
of people to
right?
thank, but I will say this about the city of New Haven. This city is all about hope and stability, both in politics and in government, and it's because of this team in this city right now. So I want to thank everyone for doing that. A bunch of people we got to thank here. The New Haven DCC for all the work you've done. Unite here.
Send me no more emails.
Our state
At least he's doing it
delegation.
because Elliot
We
won't do
had
it.
Governor Lamont came here.
Like, he just thinks
Lieutenant
he got
Governor
here by
was
himself. So
Attorney
he
General
won't thank
Tom
people.
Scanlon, Eric, our own treasurer, was here today. Liam Brennan, who came out and
Eric
endorsed
wanna be
us.
after me?
Matt Blumenthal, who's actually here
He's
today. The
handsome
Governor's
enough.
Chief of Staff, Johnny Dock, is here today. Rosa,
He's handsome,
Senator
personable.
Blumenthal,
He's so
Murphy,
cute,
New
he
Haven
could be
Fire
anything.
Department, Union Head. Pat
What does he
Cannon is
wanna
around
do?
here somewhere.
Let's get Eric elected to something else.
We even got Jack Keys out of retirement today,
You're so
did some work.
gorgeous. You can be anything. You can be governor.
Johnny.
My mother's here, but she did some work today. But listen, there's a couple other things that I want to just thank you
Because
for
He looks
bringing
like
up.
the governor.
Mayor,
Does he
no.
look mayoral?
Chad, you did a hell of a job. Campaign manager, Chad.
His handsome husband.
Eddie Camp from Unite Here. Lena,
That's what I said. I told
Tina,
him.
Sharon Ruby,
I
Jess
know, just
Corbin,
adopt
Josh.
They really
Jamie.
gotta adopt a kid.
And you can get you some biracial children just
Who are
like y'all.
going into this thing.
Yes.
This city has offered is
Maybe
about
some kids.
hope and stability
And
in
really cute
politics and in government, and it is my absolute pleasure
Oh,
to
whatever.
bring up the
What is
mayor of
this,
the city
Vinny?
of New
Whatever.
Haven, Justin Ellinger.
Vinny
I've
Martin.
heard you say this 8 million times.
Listen, Vinny said I'm a Democrat and Democrats are winning.
I gotta raise this mic pretty high now, Vinny.
He's the child
we
of
did it,
the
we
former
did it.
regime, so
Yes.
he has to be out front.
What
I
an
keep- he might be
awesome
laughing.
night.
Oh,
What
he
an awesome
is.
night.
I don't know.
Is that,
That's
is
I want
that
to
Barbara?
congratulate
That's Barbara.
so many
Uh-huh.
people because
Yeah.
let's be real, Democrats took
I
it
saw her today
across
in
the
Louisville
board
with,
in the city
Whitney.
of New Haven. City Clerk Michael Smart, congratulations. Andrea Downer, new Board of Education member. Alders from contested elections, Alder Saban, Alder Cooper, Alder Fester, Alder Santana, Ponzo, Streeter, Marchand,
I think
Sal
she'd be a better
DiCola
candidate.
also.
Even though I
And
keep
we've
kicking them to
got
the age where they like
new
to go home.
alders that are
God
joining
bless
this team as well. We got Brittany Meaver, Nye Black, congratulations, Brittany.
God bless.
Caroline Smith,
Oh, yay, Caroline.
Frank Vidente,
We love Caroline.
love
Frank,
Caroline.
Yay, Caroline.
Henry
High
slash
five.
Rodney
Mayor.
Murphy,
She should.
full name Henry, nickname Rodney, but you can call him Alder-elect Murphy from now on. And Teresa Moran. I want to take a moment to acknowledge Renee Haywood, who recently passed away. We are deeply grateful for Renee's service to this city. She was someone with compassion. She was tender. She was always polite and dedicated to the work of representing Bella Vista and Ward 11.
When I
So
die,
thank you, Renee,
nobody
for
better not
all
say I
of
was
your
polite.
service. There are so thank you, Renee.
What you talking about, Willis?
So there are so
Is the
many
F word
people
too
to thank that got us to this moment.
Like, when I
And
die, you
want to
better
start
think-
by
you
thanking
better not say
my
I was
campaign
polite or
team,
nice.
Who was just
that
incredible.
bitch was
I
nice.
He
feel
said
like
it
they're
as
gonna
well.
say
Chad
you told it.
is
You
was
said what
like
you had to say.
from
Like,
day
you didn't
one,
invite
hit the
some
ground
time for
running.
anybody.
Harry,
All over
make
this
sure you put a
unbelievably
splice
reliable.
together
We
for
give
me.
Chad a huge round of applause.
Nice to see you. Who's our guy?
Belize is our director
And our
of field
hallway.
operations. I know she's here as well, so thank you, Belize. Our treasurer's team, Susie Metric, volunteer treasurer who worked her tail off. Thank you, Susie, for all of the work you did. Roxy Lopez is here as well with Mike Farina and the work that they did. Thank you to them. Barbara Segaloff headed our finance committee. Thank you to all the members of the finance committee that helped us raise money, including so many people that were not members of our finance committee that donated
Paul,
your time. And
Do we know how much money the
How much
Elliker
was this
team?
mayoral race? How much
How
did it
much
cost?
people
Our field
raised?
staff and volunteers,
I'm sure there's
I'm
some.
nosy.
all of you.
And how much did it cost?
Paul, Tom, how much money did these people raise?
Was it an expensive race?
I think I don't know.
I can't tell.
I don't know. I think it was more
I know
money than
Tom
I was
Goldberg put
expected.
in like what $50,000 of his own money.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, that's why I couldn't run. If I was rich like that, I'd be like, hell no.
I mean, it's.
Michelle, I'm gonna tell you right now.
He's like, I think of some things I'm gonna spend $50,000 on. It's not gonna be a race.
If they willing to come see me in Portugal,
To the Working Families Party that gave us another
Um,
line on
can I
the
govern
line.
from Portugal?
Penderecki won in
And
Waterbury.
Thank you to Unite Here.
He's new. He's not an incumbent,
35
right?
And New Haven Rising.
Is this your guy, Harry? Paul
Penderecki.
Penderecki?
It was a four-way
I don't know.
race.
I don't know who I voted for.
Dorinda
Harry.
Boer,
You know how to read,
Barry
don't
Lee
you?
Cohen.
Did you close your eyes and point? What happened?
I think the Democrat won, but I didn't vote Democrat, so I don't know.
What do you mean you didn't vote Democrat? What did you vote? Republican?
Independent?
I voted against the Democrat Party, so whoever was there, I was like,
Why are you
eeny,
voting
meeny,
against the Democratic Party?
miny,
He's like, if
mo.
not eeny,
Board
meeny,
of
miny,
Alders
moe.
and President Taisha Walker Myers, thank you for your partnership. For your endorsement.
What? She what?
I think I missed something. I don't know if I heard that right.
And in
He
particular,
ran
Ron
against
Conley,
3
Larry
women.
Martin, Al Palillo, but our whole state delegation, thank you for your support. City Clerk, Ed Joyner, Dr. Joyner is here as well. Thank you for
Really?
your support. So many folks from the state. Vinny talked about them. Governor
he say
Lamont,
thank
Susan
you and
Weiss, who is
wanna
Murphy,
give us a
Chris
word?
Murphy, Blue,
I'm waiting.
Elizabeth
That's what I'm
Warren.
trying to
I
listen
feel like
for
we
to
wait
see what
every
he's gonna
year, every
say.
time,
And he doesn't say anything.
never
Who?
quite gets to a
Because he's mediocre. Why would a mediocre mayor say anything of substance and relevance?
Group of people.
Who expects
I
that?
mean, lie to me. Come on.
He
It
can't
is
even do
election
that.
night.
Like I would lie. It's election night.
It's
Like,
election night.
You,
He has,
you've been
he has-
given.
he has no more direction for the city than he had when he first was elected. He has no direction for the city.
Are so unbelievable. You are unbelievable.
Our downtown shows
This
that.
job is not easy, and this job is not
He has
my
no
job,
direction
it's
for the
our
city.
job.
He is
And
lackluster
I'm
and
so
mediocre
grateful,
at
especially
best.
for
Well,
Natalie,
what
all
people
the
have said is that.
And that's what they
gonna
want
work.
because he's white.
So thank you, Natalie,
And they
for
like
everything
that.
you
They
do.
feel comforted by some white man in office.
Okay, so I'm just going to talk for another 45 minutes. but,
Really?
Please don't.
So I just got a couple things that I think are important today. First of all,
And we all know his wife
you know,
would be a
this
better
campaign,
candidate.
In particular, the competitor that we were facing over these past many months, but in this election, used rhetoric that divided our city.
Oh, here we go.
Misrepresented.
Oh,
so
this is
much,
interesting,
so
though,
many
to go
truths
here,
about our
'cause
city,
I'm surprised he's even
scapegoated the
acknowledging
people
to.
that were most vulnerable in our community, and New Haven, in an overwhelming way, said this is something we do not stand for in our city, and that is why we crushed it tonight with almost 80% of the vote. We said this does not represent us.
I don't think Goldberg used rhetoric. I think he.
I mean, he did with the whole
Reason that you know
the
we're
was it
going
the
in
methadone clinic.
direction
Oh
is
yeah,
because
that was
we saw
problematic.
That was-
overwhelming support.
This
That's
is
what he's
telling
talking
that
about.
this kind of rattled him.
Six-
Like, because
almost
I feel like
66%,
if
almost
Goldberg was able to
two-thirds
achieve
of our
anything was to
city
get under Justin
voted
Elliker's
in
skin,
support
he really
of
annoyed
He really
the crap
found a
out
way
of
to do
him.
it. Yeah.
Like, now mind you, what he was doing that
And the
with,
reason-
trash. But
The reason that
it's
it's important
it's
is not
interesting.
just because we will run more efficient government.
I mean, it's
Not just because
white on white
we won't have
crime.
to pay campaigns every 2 years and all the work that goes into that. But more
White on
importantly,
white
voters
crime
are
is.
sending
I
a
mean, that's
message.
just what this.
Because if they were dissatisfied
Like, I'm
right
just-
now with
whatever.
the direction the city we're headed
Whatever,
in,
Elliker,
there is
whatever,
no
Goldberg,
way that
whatever.
would pass.
He might
There
be
is
talking
no
to you
way
back.
that voters would have given us as a group an opportunity to continue to lead
Sorry,
this
don't read too
city
much into
by
it. There wasn't
giving us the
anybody else to vote
opportunity
for.
longer terms. So the work that went behind this together to accomplish something that has never
It's
been
interesting
accomplished.
'cause someone I know who helped raise a lot of money for him
just
voted no on
incredible
the
with
charter.
overwhelming support for our city. So congratulations to all you for getting the charter revision across the finish line. A huge, huge task. But 4 years ago,
It's interesting. I wonder what this
4 years
this
ago, I
four-year
ran for
charter
mayor.
or four-year term will do for people who are now
in
interested in
2019.
running for office.
And
Because if they're like, I don't have to
I
run
won.
every 2 years. If that was a barrier,
And
I
I
wonder if
thought
we'll see a
going
higher
into
quality
that, a couple
candidate.
things
No, we
that are
won't.
You don't think so?
No,
not accurate.
we won't see it. We
I
won't
thought
see a
that
high.
this work
We
was
won't
gonna be
see a
easy.
higher
Let
quality
me ask you, have
candidate.
these last 4 years been easy? No, they have not. I thought
Did somebody say they were easy?
I had a lot of good ideas, and if I had some good
Did you?
ideas, then
I'm
good
sorry, what
ideas
ideas
alone
did you
would help
have,
get
sir?
things done. And is that true? No, it is not true. And I thought that if I could just
You just
become
set
mayor,
yourself
I
up,
could
sir.
make a difference. But me just being mayor, is that what actually makes a difference?
No.
No, and we all know this, right? I've said it
Look, we agree
and
on
over
things.
and over again. There's a lot of talk about the New Haven machine, right? The New Haven machine, and there's kind of a tone to it. But I think we have a machine that we put the fuel into, and that fuel is knocking on
Here's the
doors.
thing.
There's also the
You- there is a
day-to-day
machine.
grind, the partnership with our board
Because
of
you brought out
Aldermen,
the heavy
with our
guns.
state delegation,
You
with
brought
the
out
leadership
Rosa
at the state and
DeLauro,
the federal
Martin
government.
Looney, and all these
Unbelievable
governor.
resources
and
come
all
to
these
our city
people
because of that
to
partnership.
campaign.
Unbelievable
because you were
changes in the
unsure
way
and you
that
were
we do
nervous.
business in the city have come because of that partnership. Unbelievable
You were
and
nervous in this
historic
crowd.
investments have gone into our community because
You
of
don't
that
bring out those
partnership.
guns
We got
unless
through
you
COVID,
feel
and we
like
can
you
be
might
proud
be in
that
danger of
because
losing.
We worked
There's a
together.
gap.
And let me hear you say
They
that.
want
We
them to
worked
step into the gap.
together. We created over 900 units of affordable housing with over 900 more in the pipeline, and we did that together.
Well, I mean, that's
We
wonderful,
created a
but
new
you have like
climate
10,000
office
people who are
so that we
homeless.
can confront
So
climate
Right.
change
900
head on, and we can do that
apartments,
when we hear
it does
together.
what?
We
If they're one bedroom.
And then you have your minions send letters to people who are trying to cure housing to cease and desist.
And on top of that, you still have not answered the need of folks who are on waiting lists to get into housing.
But yet these luxury apartments that are going up, oh no, we can't possibly go to them and speak to affordable housing.
And we created that together. But we have so much work to do.
Now that I agree on.
And I want to
So
underscore
much
one
work.
thing in particular. This group has worked for years.
What is the
and
work?
years
What
and
we
years
gonna
to
do?
push for the resources, the fair
That's
share
what I'm
New
waiting to
Haven
hear.
Deserves. And we have seen historic investments in our community through payment of lieu of taxes and through Yale's investment to the city, and we have done that together. But now, we need to work together in the future. And if I could hear you say, we will work together. Let me hear you say that. We
Wait,
will
wait,
work
wait, say it.
together. We will work together.
They can't even
We
say
will
this
work
together.
together
Don't have to work on
lead
this.
the state and continue to lead the state on the creation of affordable housing units. We will work together to expand landlord accountability so that we can ensure that everyone has a safe place to live. We will work together to continue to train our residents by finishing adult ed in one of the most under-resourced communities in our city.
Oh, yay.
By making
Andy
sure
Beshear has
that
won the
Gateway
re-election as
Community
Kentucky's
College moves
governor.
its automotive school to the
Thank you,
city of New
Bob.
Haven
Thank you,
by
Bob.
creating career pathways and vocational
I need to know about that
schools.
Ohio
We will
referendum.
work together to confront and solve
looks like it's winning.
What is the Ohio? I gotta check with mine.
It's huge for
Is the
abortion.
margin huge for?
It's for
For
abortion.
abortion.
Yep.
Good. A
Shout out
woman's,
to
a woman's
Ohio.
rights. Yep. I tell you, my girlfriend runs the debate commission, and she put out. They had a debate on this, and it was so powerful.
Together as a community, we will work together. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your support.
He didn't announce anything new or.
Yeah, it was nothing
Novel.
new. I mean, what was he gonna say?
I really
new?
do wish he would announce like at least one.
What?
Just give me one thing.
Some-
I don't care, even if it's something he can't achieve. Like do one thing, one specific thing. I
With
would love to see it.
955,668%
Come
of
on.
votes, it is at 57% yes.
Wow.
In Ohio.
Wow. Then
Wow.
that's
40.
That's gonna set the tone for the rest of the country.
Right.
That's the temperature right there. that's the beginning of the, because I serve on the board of Planned Parenthood of Southern New England, which is Connecticut and Rhode Island, and both states have codified abortion, a woman's right to reproductive health, and so but everything hinges on federal legislation. So federal legislation can null and void
all of
just
it.
about
Right, yeah.
anything, right?
Right.
So we can have it codified, but if the federal legislation says that. But if enough states do follow in the way that Connecticut, Ohio, and other states have done, then the federal government, the Supreme Court will have no choice but to sort of say,
I don't know. The
This
current
is- Throw it
version
back
of
to
the
the
Supreme
states.
Court is
No, you
apparently
might-
willing
yeah.
to do whatever.
well, you're right.
They
You're right
want.
about that. You're right about that.
Morals
I
and
was
the will
a-
of the people is not of any of their concern.
Yeah, I was ahead of myself.
So
Yeah.
yes. All right. So our mayor
Yaskin
is
Clarence.
still the mayor. The mayor is still the mayor.
The mayor's
mayor's
still the mayor.
And,
He
Paul, Tom, do we have any other results about Bridgeport,
We know
West
who
Haven,
ran- we know who-
Hampden? What's going on? I want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
And what's going on with Gino Giovanni?
Yeah, we want to know
Giovanni.
if
like, did he pull it out? Is it
Derby. We want to know if Derby pulled it out.
Richard? How do you pronounce that last name? These are some last names, aren't they? Next time, can we get these
Zekian.
phonetically
Zekian.
spelled?
Zekian.
So I don't want to be tearing up people's
Zekian.
names. I want to be respectful.
Dezekian.
Dezekian.
Dezekian. Dezekian. Richard Dezekian.
Because he
running as a
because
third party
he was
candidate.
winning as we actually.
Oh, yeah,
as-
he was
He was
winning.
winning. He was pulling it off as a third party candidate.
I can't imagine that. I mean, I just can't imagine, because I remember the day I turned on the news. I just happened to turn on the news midday, and I saw Gina Di Giovanni, and I didn't understand what was happening. So I was like, why is this?
Why is somebody from Connecticut involved?
But I didn't even know that part, Markeisha. I just saw the when they have breaking news,
Right,
and
right.
he's standing out there with his attorneys in front of the Superior Court in New Haven. And I'm trying to understand what is happening, and the attorneys are like, "Oh, we will have our day in court." And I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, "What kind of high level ish is this?"
It's like, no, it's not high level. It's actually low level.
So then I do a
Petty
search.
crime.
I do a search, and I'm like, "Oh my God, he was part of the insurrection."
The number of people who flew to DC for the insurrection like it was a football tailgate was crazy.
Well, I think
Crazy.
just the whole idea that
Crazy.
this is
People
this big
chartered
old
planes.
Yeah, this
crazy.
big old thing, and we're gonna do this. But the funniest thing to me was that now these people have no idea as to what the real DC is like. We all know that DC is the chocolate city.
It's
And
not
there
as
was a
chocolate as
story-
it used
It's
to
not so
be.
chocolate
It's
anymore,
not that
Michelle.
chocolate. And
There
it's
were-
definitely not that chocolate around Capitol Hill.
Well, these people were looking for a place to park, and they parked.
Well, DC Metro is still pretty chocolate.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
DC Metro
And
PD is still pretty chocolate.
they parked in a black neighborhood with all the Trump paraphernalia on their cars.
Okay.
And the people of the neighborhood came out and said, "You're not going to park that here." And the little man
Not-
jumped out the truck and said, "What do you mean?" And then all the brothers came out the
Okay, I'm
house.
gonna get in my
They had to
car
find-
and I'm gonna go on about my business.
Yeah, they had to find
Mess.
another place to park.
A mess.
So,
Which is crazy because had the brothers been down at the location for January 6th, they actually would have gotten in trouble. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, we got
Exactly.
some updates.
What you got?
All right, Paul.
Dun,
What we
dun,
got?
dun, dun.
It is Groundhog Day.
What?
Uh-oh.
Ganem
Who
won?
repeated?
What happened?
So John Gomes won at the machines
Oh, God.
against Banner by 600 votes. But there are a lot more than that absentee votes.
Oh, come
Now we don't know
on.
if there were any buckets being, any harvests being. I'm sorry.
What
Harry.
is it about? Why does Bridgeport have this absentee ballot thing that
Because
doesn't
it works.
that doesn't seem to exist
'Cause
anywhere else in the state?
If you want to steal an election, that's how it works.
It's kind of interesting what you can't get away with anymore. Because New Haven, we did all the nonsense to do in Bridgeport like 30
Right,
years ago.
right,
And
right.
they got shamed out of it, and people watched. You couldn't do it. I mean, they still do that stuff in Bridgeport. Did you see the woman
Oh,
who
that
carried those
yes,
cars?
yes.
She was cited 4 years ago. What happened
Oh,
4 years
really?
ago? So 4 years ago when Ganim did the same thing, he lost to the state senator, do you remember?
Yes.
On
Marilyn
the machine,
Moore.
Marilyn Moore. But then he
Who we
won with all
love.
these Aussie votes.
our source,
So by the
right?
time she said, well, they cheated. So the state
Right.
elections enforcement commission looked into it, but it takes months and months.
Yes.
The election was long over, and they said, well, no, what you guys did was illegal the way you brought in those ballots.
Wow.
It was the same person who was in the video 4 years later with the buckets when they hand in a lot more people,
But no,
a lot more.
what-
There were a lot more
what
votes than there
sent
were
me,
people
though?
returning ballots.
What sent me
my
about that
gosh.
actually
Oh,
was
Lord.
wasn't it the agency she works for who was trying to sue or say that like they tried to file a liable suit saying that they were being slandered or some such. I was like, what?
You're on tape.
What is happening?
You're on
Where the
video.
agency is like, you're ruining our reputation because this lady works for us and you're making us look bad, so we want to sue you because you're saying that we what? I
And my
never
favorite
seen
part
anything
was
like it.
Ganem was in the Times saying, I was as shocked as everyone when
Oh
I saw
my
the
God.
video.
Yes.
Do you remember what he did when he first saw the video? They did an investigation into who leaked the video.
Yes.
They weren't shocked that
it
was
had
going
happened.
on.
They
They
were
were
like,
shocked
who-
that someone
how
released
did
the
you get
video.
it?
We're supposed to have it all covered. This is understood. No, you're not supposed to give the video at
Right.
4 a.m. coming in with the bucket.
Awful.
So what happens now?
So
So we
they're
gotta
gonna-
wait for the absentees,
We'll
right?
have the shameless counting of the absentees. If Gomes somehow holds on, then there's no
over.
primary. There's no primary. If Ganem wins, we'll
They're
have another
doing it over
primary where
again.
who knows? Maybe he'll win again on the machines, and then there'll be all these
Oh, my
absentees going.
gosh.
You saw that Kentucky was a big victory.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ohio
Yes.
too.
And
Yes.
Ohio, yeah.
Yes.
Kentucky,
Absolutely.
Ohio. So do we have any intel on results in Hampden and West Haven?
And
No.
Derby.
Nothing
What?
yet?
No, Derby we do. The
So
January
that-
6th guy came in third.
Okay, good.
And that it was sort of like what happened backwards with East Shore. The Republican was an incumbent as well, so he ran independent.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird that January 6th guy beat an incumbent mayor in a primary.
Right.
I
that
know.
was
I know. So,
crazy.
so
Yeah.
they were both running. So the Democrat won in Derby, in Trumpville.
Wow.
Good.
That's nuts.
Impressive.
That's impressive. So with no intel on Hampden, no nothing.
I guess there wasn't supposed to be a question in Hampden, I guess. Let me go see if I can find it out somehow. I'll be back.
Is the current mayor still the mayor?
Well, you know,
Is what
That's
I'm
all
trying to
we
figure
wanna
out.
know.
I mean, I think the current
Did
mayor
the
is the
Republican
mayor.
lady
I
get
looked
any
out my
votes?
window. There are no asteroids, but I'll go look.
Well, I mean, I just,
He's
it's
like,
just
I wasn't worried.
a close race in Bridgeport. Hey, thanks.
According to
shout out to
WTNA,
Bob
0
McCormick.
people voted in Hampden. Okay.
0 people.
Bob is our official fourth member of this show.
Did people
'cause
even?
Bob's
People
keeping
knew
us
it was
together.
an election in Hampden, right? They went out. didn't
I
they?
Did they
think
not?
they did.
You
I
sure?
saw signs.
I had a whole show on it the other day. I mean, I know. Listen, I had the mayor and the town clerk on, who was our soror.
You know, well, the people who watch your show probably voted. The people who
Yeah.
don't probably did not.
Ohio voters support abortion access. You damn right they should support.
Not only
support
should
that.
You
they
know,
support,
the
they
things
should
that
come
they
out
should
to
do,
vote.
people don't always do. But people
Listen, I
turned out
know.
massively for this, and I hope they keep that same energy.
I hope so.
Over the
I
next
hope they keep
what is
that
it?
same energy.
12 months?
Yeah.
Because now we're 12 months down.
We're
Oh,
gonna be
God.
back at it.
And then we got to deal with the
The silliness.
the
of it all.
presidential election, which the fact that people are. I mean, I can't imagine that Trump will never be president again. I don't worry about
He's
that.
gonna govern
listen,
from
if it's-
jail.
If it's up to Colorado, he won't even be on the ballot.
I have a weather report, folks.
A weather report.
Is it
Clear night,
snowing?
no asteroids.
Oh,
We
it's
have not
it's
collided
no
with the
snowing.
moon. Dorinda Boer has been elected mayor of West Haven. I didn't realize that they were split. And, you know, Richie,
Yeah.
they're not married anymore. It's been a while.
Oh yeah, it's been a while.
And she was the one he picked up after he touched the first one.
Ooh.
I'm sorry. That's not political reporting. Okay. Dorinda Boer is the mayor of West Haven and in Hampden.
When you tune in to us, we give you all the tea.
give you the dirt.
Lauren Garrett has been reelected
Yay!
the mayor of Hampden.
Very good.
Yeah, because you know they had the black Republican sister who
Still
didn't
dating.
claim her Republican.
Ness.
What's kind of noticed? Did you notice on social media they had the ad for like, I guess Divine Nine people vote for the slate, so they didn't have Lauren Garrett on it because there was a black woman running a Republican. Said all the Democrats minus the mayor.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah, I
messy.
did see
Oh.
that ad.
messy.
But
Oh,
it
I
kind
didn't
of,
see that.
But it kind of
I
makes
did.
sense to me because why would you diss a black woman just because she's a Republican. That wouldn't have been fair.
No, that wouldn't have been. Is
think
she
they
a
did it
Divine
right.
Nine? What is she?
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that was
you
a whole
she didn't
thing.
tell us she was Republican. Is she gonna tell us what Divine Nine? I mean, like,
She probably renounced.
She was Divine 12, but she didn't go. Sorry.
I'm sorry, that's not. I don't know anything about anything.
We all don't know anything.
now I gotta
I don't
go
know anything
slick.
about
She ain't got her
anything.
colors on, nothing. She got all the
She's
colors
like, I'm wearing white to the private. I'm wearing white.
and pearls, because we all wear
Everybody
pearls.
wears
Right.
pearls. And
So you
Republican
gotta
women wear
guess.
pearls too.
Right. So you got to guess.
So we don't know. She was like, I'm gonna play this close.
She's like, I'm gonna live up to my name. My name is Crystal.
My
I
name
don't
is
need any
Crystal.
colors. Crystal clear.
I don't got no
I'm
nothing.
gonna be crystal clear about my
I'm being
affiliations.
crystal clear about my affiliations,
Which is
it's,
to
it's
not
not
be
important.
crystal clear about my affiliation.
Holy cow! Holy cow!
Jeez, it's crazy out here.
Yikes!
Oh my goodness. Okay.
All right. So
So we're still waiting on what, Derby?
Dorinda
No,
Bora.
we know that the
Well, we know that the
incumbent, won in
incumbent, yeah.
Derby. And we know that Lauren Garrett won in Hamden.
and Dorinda Bora won in West Haven.
Right. So,
So the only thing that's still kind of up in there is Bridgeport.
Yep.
And we really
right
probably might
now,
not know that tonight.
we're not going to know that for another
Yeah.
week.
I was being generous, huh?
No, it's going to be. It's
Oh,
gonna
Robert
be a few
McCormick
days.
says Michelle looks great.
She does.
You know, there's three of us, Bob.
Thank-
I don't know what you're doing. But
Well,
you,
Bob is my news person on WSME. So
I'm gonna tell
that's
you,
why.
Bob, you can't divide us, and you cannot conquer us.
No, you
So
can't.
just FYI,
we all look good.
we all look good.
We all look fabulous.
So thank you, Robert McCormick, for
Yeah, shout out to you for being like the fourth member of the show.
whatever it is you think you're doing. Thank you.
He's been
We
He's been
appreciate you.
informing.
he's been like our
No, but he's been
right-hand
very
guy.
helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Giving us
Making sure we get the tallies in.
Yep.
Keeping us on
more
the straight and
examples of
narrow.
how poorly executed the charter revision vote was. The Spanish translation introducing the question was miswritten
Ooh.
on the ballot. Small point.
But that's
Ooh.
significant.
That is
It
significant.
is significant.
That
But
is significant.
are you surprised? I don't even know why you're surprised.
No, because
But this
you
is an
can't get.
administration that prides itself on being bilingual, and it does.
'Cause they
you
got
see
a
Alec out
Puerto
there
Rican
no, because I
health
be out there
department
speaking
director.
Spanish.
Oh, all right.
But do you
I
have?
blow in Espanol.
But did they blow up past the people that actually speak Spanish
And not only that,
and not the
how
bots?
How
I'm
much?
just saying.
And how many signs do you see that are really like City of New Haven?
Not for nothing. I felt like the folks
Spanish.
who were for no and who I don't think did any Spanish outreach, quite frankly. But those people got after it really quickly. I saw their signs well before the folks who were putting out the flyers to say, "Oh, vote yes." They were out early and often. They didn't win, but I wonder where they did succeed. They probably I think they succeeded in 18. I wonder how they did in Ward 25. But there's some key places that I think the no vote was like, nah.
Yeah.
But interesting. That is
Well,
that is
listen,
an important point.
Let me give people a heads up.
I'm looking for that D9 ad. I don't see
I
it
know,
right
you're like, I
now.
wanna see
I
this on
need
my
to give
phone.
people. Listen, the world is turning very black and very.
Oh, Africa's about to be the
I just
new-
want to give Bob an opportunity to say I look good too.
Bob,
Yes,
the ball is in your
please.
court.
Please big up Harry, please, because he's what makes us all look good.
See it over 70%. Actually, I think he's Lee Busby. I think he actually got 79% of the vote.
Yeah,
Mm.
79%.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's 79% of. I mean, all right.
Again, it was a good turnout. I mean, it was a decent turnout.
guess.
I don't know how good it was in the grand scheme of turnouts.
How many
it-
registered voters do we have? I mean,
Oh, that I don't know. That's a good question. I love having that information. If somebody would,
you know, we
share
have
that.
how many registered
many-
voters? I mean, it's got to be
Registered
you know,
voters in New
at
Haven.
least 150,000. I mean, at least.
Well, I know that, again, there's for every 15
So how much?
Democrats,
How
there's
what,
one Republican.
what does the percentage of voters, the actual voters, look like? Because 79% can sound attractive, but if it's 79% of
Well, it's 79% of the people who went to vote today.
Right.
that's what I mean.
Right.
But
Right.
and if
That's
that
what it
Not
is.
number,
necessarily 79% of registered
yeah,
voters.
that's what I mean. So we need to be clear about that.
But also that goes back to what we've been talking about all night, which is that it's pretty easy. It seems to be pretty easy to register people to vote. Getting them to actually go exercise their
that's-
right to
and
vote
that is always
a
my-
whole different.
That is always
ball of
my
wax.
cross right there. Like, we could get people registered to vote, but how do we get people to the polls? How do we get them inspired and excited to go to the polls? That is the real, and
Well, I think-
and we don't have the sort of the things that we saw during the civil rights. Like, they're not hosing us down with
Right.
hoses. There's not dogs at the polling place.
Right.
And
They're not
Do you want
deliberately-
that? I mean, because we are kind of sliding back into that territory.
Well, here's my thing.
The
This
current
goes-
Speaker of the House is a
I will tell you
crazy
though,
dude.
Markeisha, that was effective in the sense that
mean, I
people
don't need a-
rose up
Personally, don't
to show
need
up
a-
in the face of that.
So
No, I don't want to see.
no, I'm saying.
Hell no, I don't
But
wanna,
I'm saying
are you
what
kidding
people
me?
don't realize.
I don't want to go to the polls and have to deal with dogs and hoses. What the hell is that?
Or
Exactly.
In this
pecans.
modern world?
Exactly.
However-
but given that people don't have that kind of
But it's not
negative
lost
motivation,
on me, Markeisha, how those visuals are inciting.
they
Yes,
are.
yes, and I think too. This goes back to, and I'm over it. I'm tired of crying about it, but we need civics. We need civics so bad
Here's the
because
thing.
we have to get people
So
to
bad.
understand
I
what
absolutely-
their vote does.
I absolutely
people don't
agree
know what their
with,
vote
I
does.
absolutely agree with that, Michelle. And I also like our story that we mentioned and other people who have taken their platforms because we live in the age of social media. Mm-hmm. And you are fighting a battle of misinformation that is
Correct.
happening intensely.
Correct.
And you also but you also have people out there who are good at this. And I don't know what it takes. I don't know if it takes people who are savvy like that to use social media in a way long before we ever get to the polls. But to be
Right.
constantly putting that and being willing, like, shout out to the people who do this because they're willing to do battle with the people who want to spread misinformation. They're willing
Right.
to continue, like, fight fire with fire in terms of content.
Yes.
Correct.
And we live in the age of content. That is where young people are. Like,
Yep.
and Gen Z, like, for better or for worse, can get fired up about stuff.
They do, and
And-
they shut down a bridge today in New York.
Exactly. So, like, the capability is there, but I guess where I worry is, like, why must there always be a fire? Like, this is like, why isn't this just something that, like, is like a part of the thing that you do?
Well, I think if you have civics, right, then you understand the process. So you don't have to have the fire because you've got folks who understand how it works. And I think we do well in getting people out to vote. But
No,
then
we do well in getting people to register for
okay. Yeah.
I don't wanna get 'em-
Register.
we don't get them out to vote that
Okay,
bad. Well,
register to vote. I agree with that. But we don't tell folks what the next step is once you do vote. If and when
but
you
somebody
vote,
is telling them.
that it's
So-
not worth it.
Right. So somehow they're getting the message between registering to vote and actually not going to the poll that there's no point in them going to the poll. That message is clear. I don't know who's sending that message other than the people who, like, because it's not lost on me that even though people feel apathetic about voting, there are definitely people who understand the process and who are willing to get elected on the grounds that I'm going to work hard to keep those people from not
Voting. Absolutely.
and they don't go to the polls. No problem. That's fine. And when they get there, they're
We
gonna
don't
find
address
out
it.
that's not your polling place. You registered to vote. You've been cleaned from the rolls. Oh, it's hot out here. Oh, y'all want to vote early? No, we're not doing any of that.
Right.
So, there are people who are very much interested that even if so they're getting that message that there are things that are stopping me from going to vote in addition to my apathy.
So the question becomes, how do you motivate folk?
Yeah,
right?
I'm interested in how do you convince people if people are working that hard and you're not even going to vote, but people are working that hard to keep you
to
from
make
voting.
you shoot, to make you
that,
stay
that
home.
should make you want to go see what it's about.
But that's the problem, right?
I think you're right, Michelle. I think that's part of the problem. We've never sort of said, listen, if they're trying to keep you from voting, it is your God-given
must
right
be
to figure out
important.
why.
Right.
And you should
and
be
that's number
incensed.
one.
Oh, I can't.
And
can
then number
somebody click
two,
that link?
Portal CT Gov.
So
but I
as
just
of,
pulled something up. According to Yale Daily News, 23.7% of eligible voters cast their ballots in mayoral and older primary elections.
That's not even a quarter of people. That's terrible.
So
I don't know.
let me check the date on that.
So 88,561
No.
registered voters in 2020. That's
Over 61,000 are listed as active,
Active.
according to Carlos Gallo.
Thank you,
Carlos, where you get
Carlos.
your info?
Is that from that portal? I think Carlos might have posted.
Is that the same portal?
From the Connecticut
voters
Media.
enrollment stats?
yeah,
Election
stats.
Services Registration,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from the Secretary of the
Secretary of the State.
hmm
Okay.
Yeah, that's not everybody voting. That's not even close. That's not even half of those.
No.
It's like what?
Lower voter turnout across the city, continuing a recent trend on low engagements in local elections.
Ouch. Yeah, folks. This
I mean,
is
I
problematic.
was in a whole restaurant downstairs of this building.
Thank you, Carlos.
And the brother was like, "It's rigged," and they're gonna pick who they want, and you could vote all you want, but they're gonna decide what they want. And I could feel myself wanting to like slapping the ish out of him for that, because I was like, "No, that's not how that is." Like, but I didn't have the energy to engage him further, and so I just was like,
And also, I mean, we've all been on the other ends of these conversations, and it's one of those things like where engaging someone doesn't necessarily change their mind.
No, and
No.
I said to him, normally when
No.
I hear stuff like this, when I hear people say this kind of stuff, I don't frequent their establishments. I said, but I'm gonna stay here because you're a brother, and I want to see you. I want to see you do well. But now I'm feeling like, F that.
I don't want to go back.
I'm not trying to sort of say, because we are connected through skin color, that's the past.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm never coming back here again. I'm never coming back here again. First of all, you have terrible liquor. That's number one. And you have like eight versions of Casamigos. That's another turn off. You know. So I'm never going back there for that reason.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, I just can't.
Should I pick that bottle or that bottle?
No,
And then-
higher.
and then you have terrible
Because if you
selection.
pick anything in this row, it's going to be
it ain't.
it's
And
gonna
then
be
you have
long.
terrible versions of bourbon. And then you say to me, well, I don't drink bourbon. I started to say, Ninja, I don't need you to drink
Ninja.
bourbon to have good
I need
bourbon.
you to buy it
I
because
need
it's your
you-
establishment and you want to have a reputation
Of good-
having good bourbon.
And listen, I will tell you, I was a Casamigos girl until I realized that's not real tequila. I was just going for the sweetness. You know, it's like Rice Krispie treats. Like, I
Not
like
Rice
Rice
Krispie
Krispie treats.
treats.
And then you realize, oh, this is trash.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway.
I think also like
Sorry.
no ageism in the sense that like, but he's a gentleman of a certain age. He's not my
He's
age.
my age.
Yeah, he's not my age.
He's not your age. I'm 20
But-
years older than you.
But I'm also very much thinking about, okay, that guy. I don't want to say he's gone because people in your age, your demographic vote. Like if we look at when you break down
They
age,
should be voting.
They should, but I think if you look at the demographics of who's voting, older people are voting. Like let's
Yeah.
be clear, older
That
people
is
are
true.
voting.
But
That
And
is true.
so we have
That
a
is true.
real problem of young people, and I mean we're about to have a big like right now like older people are the demographic.
Well,
they are the
listen,
people
the
controlling
baby
the
boomers,
country.
because I'm in that
Yeah,
I'm in that world.
y'all are running things.
we
Yeah.
are running things, but we are dying and aging.
Right. We're
And so,
aging.
Those are the
so
things.
what? So who steps into that? Who understands what war is? Who understands what economic instability
and
is?
instability.
Who understands what it's like to be hungry and breadline? Who? I'm in that generation.
yeah.
Right.
And I think you all also come from a generation of people who feel a certain sense of responsibility that I feel like younger generations don't.
They don't have.
Well,
actually
that's the
have.
entitlement,
Yeah.
right?
Like
And
the
I was just-
collective sense
Markeisha,
of
I was
entitlement.
having this
if
conversation
I
with
don't
somebody.
do it, who's gonna
Who's
do
gonna
it?
do
Right.
it?
Like that's quickly becoming not
No.
a thing.
I
And
mean,
that's
I
not
see
to
it.
cast any
I mean, I see with my own children, they don't have the same fire and venom I have about politics and about the world,
Yeah.
and the way things are, because they grew up in a world where they have no understanding of what it's like to be targeted because they're black, but they
Right.
understand that they've been targeted because they're black.
They
right?
They
understand
understand it as a
but-
concept.
They-
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Interesting.
And in certain points, like you said, Babs, they've been singled out. But it's not all the way through society.
Right.
Like it was for us.
Yes.
Like for instance, I told somebody, I said, listen, I went to a 1-room kindergarten, had a potbelly stove, and they were like, you're not that old. I'm like, no, it
like
ain't
I had to be
slavery.
that. Nah, it's people out here though asking like, so what was slavery like?
Exactly. If you were born in 1962, oh,
You're
it's
like, are
slavery.
you okay?
Excuse me.
I'm just saying,
But they
it's,
don't-
it's a generation of folks that didn't watch Eyes on the Prize every year.
Right. When
Black
it was
History
a PBS special.
Listen.
Eyes on the Prize. We all watched Eyes on the Prize.
We had
I
the
was-
album set at the house.
I was
You know,
living,
my mama did not play.
I was living Eyes on the Prize.
You were living it, but I had to watch it because my mama
I
did not
watched
play.
it too, Markeisha.
She had an album.
I
It was like
watched
a
it later.
multi-album set.
Yes,
you can
it-
listen
from
to all the
PBS.
speeches.
Yes.
Who among
But
us?
but I really think that our children don't have a sense of it because they haven't experienced it like we did. And I know in my case, for a certain amount of time you bubbled, right? You kept them from those things
You're protecting
because
them.
yeah, because those weren't necessarily, you want them to experience life, but if you don't have to be in a racist environment, I'm not going to put you there. Whereas in certain instances, our parents were like, you know, that's life. That's the way it is.
Yeah.
You going to have to deal
gonna
with that.
And this is,
You're
this
going to
is
have to
the,
find a
the
way out.
other like end round challenge to that I'm thinking about. So acknowledging that there are a younger generation coming behind us who don't have not the same experiences that we've had, but who've not had the continuity of the learning of those experiences. And I think about places like Florida where they're like, we're going to actively not teach people things. I suspect the people who have taken ownership of going after laws and policy to therefore not teach those things. You know, we got churches in Florida teaching Black history
Because it's
because we
necessary.
have gone.
It's gone.
We've gone
that
a completely
road.
different direction. But I would wager and bet lots of money that I don't have that the people who are doing this are definitely teaching their children, not history. They don't care about that. They are teaching them power though. And I think we have to, there has to be a place, and I don't know where that place is, of teaching people. And shout out to Gary Winfield because he talks about power, and he's like, why don't you want power?
I love power.
I love hearing him talk about power.
I love power.
And I think
Markeisha.
people are
I
afraid
love
of power,
I think people
and they don't
put
understand how it works.
People
I
put
think
it-
it's more that, Markeisha. I think they don't understand how it
well
works.
because so much of the media has portrayed power as this lascivious sort of thing.
Well, Donald Trump.
I love power. I love power and influence, and I seek it at every turn because I understand the
what it does.
I understand what power can do, and I understand how to wield it, and I love it. But because we spend so much time thinking power is this very personal, internal grab for money and influence in a way that doesn't serve the
Or
populace and doesn't benefit the populace, that we just turned a blind eye to what power is. But power, I mean, the civil rights folks understood what power was. Adam Clayton Powell understood what power was.
Although
Eleanor
I got a bone to pick with him right now.
Holmes Norton understood what power is. I mean, there was a lot of people who understood what we have to leverage our power to sort of do
Right.
that. But as we understood power, there were forces that understood divide and conquer.
Well-
We're gonna divide you so that you can't ever get on the same page about what is happening.
But I also think it's, like you said, the leverage of power, right? Because at some point, when you think that you have gained a victory and you think that victory is in place, just think
Or
about
that
what
it
has
lasts
happened to
forever.
us
Yeah.
over the past 5 to 7 years, right? We thought we had stuff cemented. We didn't think we were going to have to go back. We thought we had leveraged our power.
Right.
And like
And
mommy,
some
my
folks
mother
showed
always
us that
points
they know
out.
how to build power still.
Well,
here's
the
and
thing.
pull that power back.
Here's the thing. My mother pointed this out to me. She said in Roots,
wrap it up.
in Roots, Burl Ives says, "You may be in his now, but down the road, I will see you, and down the road, I will make the difference." So, in other words, yeah, okay, you got all this now, and you think it's solid now,
It's not permanent.
but it ain't permanent.
But here's
and
the
I'm gonna
thing.
meet you in that place when you think it's permanent.
I will say this. It was quite sobering because I have this whole thing about time. I'm
Lord.
always tripped out about time because I'm like, what?
It's been 40 years. What you mean?
I'm like 40 years ago. It's like
Like
that was
that.
just 20 years ago.
No.
No, bitch.
Double
40.
that.
Do you know it's been 13 years since the Obamas took the White House?
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
13 years.
And look,
And when I saw that, I was like, no. I had to go and look. I had to
He's
go
like, I don't
and
believe
look.
you.
I had to go and look, and I was like, oh, that can't be right. It was only 4 years ago.
I would like for us to be in a place where
4
it's like
years
13
ago-
years from when Trump was in office.
Yes.
I'd like to get there. If we could just get there.
I had to go back. I was
I
like,
would like for that to be
so
well.
it's been 13 years since the Obamas first stepped into office.
Those little girls they're women now.
They're
are
grown ass
grown.
women
They're
with
grown women.
boyfriends and
Right.
careers. They're
Careers.
working
And
in
they're
the
real-
world.
yeah,
They've
women.
graduated college. Like they're my children. Like they're
They're
out there in the
grown.
world.
they're our children.
You know. So yeah. So I was like, whoa,
Wow.
it's amazing, right?
That's crazy.
So we went from sugar to shit.
Quickly.
Pretty quick.
quickly. You can do a lot in like a decade.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we
tough.
found out.
And
very tough.
hopefully, what we can do next will I mean, it might take the next decade.
Yeah. So thank you all for hanging out with us.
Yes.
on,
This is crazy.
Yes.
on election night
This
2020.
ain't the Black Lady Sketch Show.
No. It's
I
pretty
mean, it
close.
might be a little bit.
Thank you for hanging out with us.
That was deep.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank you for hanging out with us for 2023. The next election, we'll be back here, I think.
Yeah.
Because we are committed
Hopefully.
to having these deep conversations and bringing
Maybe
you
we'll invite somebody who has some ideas.
and bringing you the
identify
information on elections in this state because we care deeply about the state. We're all residents of the state. And Christine Stewart, Connecticut News Junkie, we missed you.
We missed you.
We missed you.
Please come back and
But
visit.
at the next election, make sure give
Listen,
them
come through and bring the
listen,
baby.
give them baby some Benadryl and go head on,
You're
girl.
not supposed to
get a
babysitter.
Oh, I can't say that. No,
you can't say that. That's not good anymore, Babs.
No, it's not good.
Can't,
anymore.
not anymore.
Can't rub their guns with a little
No.
brandy.
Listen,
No,
can't.
we are
no.
from an era where there weren't car seats or seat belts. So
Then I wouldn't
Where
be.
people
Then
smoke
listen, Michelle.
smoke in the hospital. In the
Michelle,
hospital.
Michelle, I wouldn't be a good parent right now because all I
No.
know is Benadryl and rubbing the gums with brandy. I don't know nothing else.
No, can't do that no more.
Thank you, Harry.
been on call
Thank you,
CPS.
Paul.
Thank you, Harry.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, Paul.
Tom Breen.
Thank you, Tom Breen. It's been a good election
I
night.
just aged myself. I said, "Say bye, Gracie."
Election night 2023 in the
23.
books.
It's in the
See
books.
y'all next year.
We'll see you for the big elections, the bigger
Yes,
the bigger
the bigger.
The
elections.
gubernatorial.
The big one. Hopefully, we could go from shit to sugar.
Yeah, I hope so. That's the goal.
Listen, if we could just get the salt, I'd be fine.
I know, right?
It's like we ain't got to go from salt. Can I get some salt? Some salt of the earth. Can I get the salt?
Thank y'all.
Simple.
And thanks to our audience.
Yes.
Thank
shout
you
out to
all.
y'all.
Thank you for
and
helping
Bob
us out.
McCormick, thank you for
we love
rocking
you, Bob.
with us.
WSME,
Shout out
thank
to
you.
Carlos.
Thank you,
Shane
Carlos. Gallo.
No, who
for
said
hanging
see
with
you in
us.
4 years?
See you in 4 years.
Not
Carlos. Carlos says, see you
Carlos,
in 4
you better
years.
come back before then.
Okay.
No, he's talking about
The term.
the charter.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
No, Carlos, come back before 2027.
Yeah,
We expect to see you next year.
yeah, next year.
Not in 4 years
Yeah, not
with the
4
charter.
years. We're gonna get into it. So thank y'all for rocking with us. We're
All
gonna
right.
go. Good night. Good night.
Good
And
night.
with that, we're out.
Good night.